please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic. On Tuesday, we put a bow on week 15 in the NFL season. The latest on the Cardinals, on field and off. College football bowl games are underway. We'll get you updated and preview what's coming down the pipe. Suns injuries mount, Coyotes, ASU, and Arizona basketball. It's a busy December in sports, so join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event, Monday through Friday, noon to 2 p.m. here on 1580, 99.3 FM, The Fanatic.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time
for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line. Already in force. Okay. 888-368-1580 as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And again, I just want to remind everybody, we're tanking. I'm not mad about what happened with the Colts. I'm actually tickled pink about it. In fact, at the end there, I was like, if I didn't want the loss, I'd be hoping for a tie right now. Yeah. I'd be hoping for a tie. They wouldn't help me as much in the draft, but it would just be funny that they tied 2 times in 1 year. I don't think anybody's ever done that, I don't think. But so if you're going to get on the text line and harass me about my Colts, it ain't going to work because I'm good with this. I'm good with this. On Twitter, I explained to Fish Tank, here's the thing. We're tanking, but nobody knows it. Nobody on the team knows it. Only Jim Irsay knows it. Why do you think he brought in Jeff Saturday? Why do you think they brought back Matt Ryan? Irsay's like, well, whatever you do, bring back Matt Ryan. Yeah, it's plausible deniability. They won a game or two, but we are tanking, and it's genius. I'll tell you what, I've never done drugs, but the genius that it is inspired in Jim Irsay between the acid and the mushrooms, I'm thinking about doing it myself. I feel like
you Jim Irsay, Aaron Rodgers in a powwow circle.
Well, I'm not doing his hippie tea. I'm just going to go all right, Jimmy, what did you do? Here's a piece of paper and a pen. Just make a list. And because then maybe I'll have some genius ideas like this. But anyways, I know that there wasn't a whole lot of good news for any of us. I mean, I kind of felt like mine was good news, but okay. We all took L's. We all took L's in everything.
Yep.
Fantasy football, real football,
yep.
Whatever it is, we all took L's. So I want to start the show with happier things. And then we'll talk about the Cardinals and the Colts and the Commandos and all that stuff. But yeah, I want to talk about good things first. But the first
Okay.
thing was an amazing message that came into my my Facebook Messenger at midnight. I slept right through it. I didn't know about it until about 9 o'clock this morning, and it was from the King of Kittens. And King of Kittens had been doing some late night drinking, and as you remember, King of
Late night
Kittens-
drinking. Okay.
Oh yeah,
As you do.
All right, here we go.
and he's been trying to get to us to talk about the soccer. In fact, his first text today is
Yeah.
goal, and all he's doing is Argentina, muy fantastic, muy bueno, Argentina. He's all thrilled because he's a big soccer fan.
Yeah.
And he's tried to get us to speak some soccer, and I'm always no thank you, no thank you, and we make fun of soccer and all that. So evidently, King Kittens is not a happy drunk.
Uh-oh.
Now,
Oh,
keep in mind, I asked for permission to go ahead and put this because it just cracked me up. 12:28. Oh, wait a second. PM. Was that midnight or? Oh, I thought this was midnight. This was noon yesterday. Wait a minute. King Kittens. This was the middle of the day yesterday? Oh,
that
my
that does
God.
track because the game was happening.
Okay.
If it's soccer related.
I need to double check that I didn't just accidentally write PM there before I read this, because this makes it even more amazing. You are that drunk in the middle of the day. That is epic.
Well, I mean, if King of Kittens is a football fan and the game was going
Okay.
on,
No, it was AM. It was AM. It was last night. Okay. So I don't know why it got changed to PM on my screen here. All right. So back to what it was. So here it is, 12:28. If you're going to be a D, go ahead and disparage the enjoyment of some of your listeners. And if you're going to be a D, tell the show how much soccer sucks. F, we know what you're going to say. Moments later. Oh, F. Sorry, Jeff. Go. I've been drinking. I just almost want to frame this one. So this morning I typed him. It's like, so what riled you all up there? You a France fan? Because Argentina beat France, and he's like, no, I was just drunk. I said, I get the drunk part, but why were you drunk mad at me? He says, I don't know. I don't remember. Probably thought this wouldn't be a topic.
and so we're talking about it right off the bat on this
Oh.
Monday edition.
How could you not?
That was just amazing from King of Kittens. And hey, everybody understand, I don't care for soccer. I don't care about soccer, but I don't care if you care about soccer. Hey, go live your best life. If you love the soccer, like the billions of people who do, power to you. Don't listen to me. Don't pay attention to me. What do I matter in the grand scheme of anything? And why you would get drunk and be like, you're sitting there doing your own thing, and you're like, suddenly I pop into your head.
Maybe
at a midnight on Sunday. That son of a bitch.
it's maybe you're drunk and you're on the social media and you see somebody say something mean about soccer, and then you think of the one person who's always saying mean things about soccer, and then you just message them instead of, I don't know. I'm just coming. It's a theory.
I just love it. I just love that. So thank you, King of Kittens, for being cool about it. It was funny because he immediately felt bad about it, even drunk. He's like, oh, no. He's like that guy. You seven. Come here, I love you. I'm sorry. That was kind of like that moment over social media. Anyway, yeah, we're not going to talk about the World Cup because I didn't watch it. I don't think. Well, I'm sure. Keon, you were into the soccer. Did you watch the Argentinian? What's the name of their team, by the way?
Well,
just the Argentinians.
It's
Argentina.
It's
they have no mascot.
It's
Just
like
Argentina.
it's like the Olympics. So you just basically it's just your country. So yeah,
So you watched Argentina beat them Frenchy Frenches.
Yeah, and it was a fun final. It was like the thing that the soccer people say that the World Cup actually is. For that game, it was definitely that. And I had some Argentinian neighbors, and they were very excited.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I knew the game actually started. Was they woke me up with their cheering, and then I went to go take my brother to work, so I missed I missed a Lionel Messi goal, and I know I missed a Lionel Messi goal because when I pulled into the parking lot, I looked up at the balcony and they kind of live on the other side of my apartment through our very thin wall, so I can hear them constantly. And 3 Argentinian men ran out of the apartment in their underwear, yelling and screaming and slapping each other on the back. And then they went back inside and closed the door.
Okay, so I'm going to pause you there for a second. Is it custom to watch soccer in your underwear with other dudes? Is that how soccer works?
That has not been my experience watching soccer. That I can't speak for the Argentine.
And you thought King of Kittens was drunk.
But that has not been my experience watching
Is it
soccer.
Argentinian to rip your clothes off at the goal, run around and put your clothes back on and be like, no, man, you're still my brother. It's all right.
I don't know. You know what? There was a lady after the game in the stadium that ripped her top off. And they tried
God bless.
They tried to cut away. They couldn't do it. And I'm like, lady, you're in Qatar. Put the shirt back on.
Oh, geez.
But
She'll be killed
I have no idea what happened to her.
Wow.
But the alcohol and the soccer go together very, very well.
Usually, it's like, hey, God bless her for sharing. But yeah, you're right.
I was like, no, you're in Qatar. Worst. Put it back on.
So all right. So for everybody who is into it, so you get in 4 years.
Yay!
My friend Barry Kluger wrote an article, and he's just like, where does this all go? Because every 4 years, everybody comes out of the woodwork, but it never really increases the popularity of the sport in the United States the rest of the year. It doesn't push the ball rolling. You know what I'm saying? And I said to him, I said, you know what it kind of reminds me of is people here in the United States, when it's World Cup, they're in because it's an opportunity to drink and just party and be silly. And also it's like one of those, oh, look at me things. I'm watching soccer, meaning they're like, people who always say, well, I don't ever watch TV. It's just, okay. You're highbrow, you're frou-frou, whatever, buddy. And, it just kind of feels like that when Americans suddenly are like, oh, yay, soccer. And then they're not soccer fans, really. They're just fad fans. They're chasing whatever is happening so they can get a selfie with it. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's just a really big event, and you can jump on board something that maybe you otherwise wouldn't, and you're going to make a bunch of instant friends if you go out to like a bar or something and watch a game with some random people.
Will they help me move?
Well,
they are not friends.
You've got to develop that friendship beyond that, obviously. But
Just
you'll
Don't
always
tell me I'm going to make a bunch of friends.
It'll just be fun. I do think that it doesn't stick though, because specifically the U.S. never goes anywhere or does anything. So then it's hard to really get all fired up for it when it's like the U.S. always comes in with all of this hype. Our broadcasters do a terrible job of like setting realistic expectations of what the U.S. is capable of on the World Cup stage on the men's side, and then they go out there. They're okay. They weren't bad this time. They were all right, but they didn't really go anywhere and do anything. And the next thing you know, you're watching Argentina and France, which is fun for what that game turned out to be, but it's not your team, so it doesn't stick. You know what I mean? Like there's no momentum because the U.S. in particular isn't the team that's really challenging anybody.
If it did stick, and who was it? I think it's Against the Spread that has a 10-year bet with me saying that soccer will be one of the top 4 sports in this country. And I, of course, said, let's do a steak dinner. Even if that were to come true, I wouldn't care. I probably would just be like, I don't think I'd have much to talk about there. If that happens, I'll probably just retire from doing the sports talk stuff because I just can't. I can't get into it. I can't. It's not about a bunch of foreigners. It's not about anything other than I just don't enjoy watching the game. That's just my honest.
And that's okay. And you wouldn't have to retire because I just think even if soccer were to become this top 4 sport somehow, and I don't know how that happens, it's probably 4. You know what I mean? Like it's still not going to be football. It's still not going to be basketball. So I kind
of want to retire now. So you're trying to stop me from retiring 10 years from now? I don't appreciate you trying to tell me what to do with my life.
I'm saying that doesn't have to be the reason.
I am looking for a reason every day.
Any damn reason will do.
Yeah. 888-368-1580. And let's see. I'm going to try to stick to what we're talking about right now. Curious ASU fan says, after the World Cup final, everyone's saying Messi is as great as Maradona or Ronaldo. However, I still think Pele is the greatest of all time. What do you think? These are all names I've heard, but I could not pick these people out of a lineup, and I have no comment whatsoever. I can step aside like I do during the college football dance party, but at least I can tell you, if I watched a college football game, I understood the hell's going on. I wasn't going to be bored.
Yeah, and that's part of it too. Is it's just if it's not something you've been into, it does take some time to really get it. And if it doesn't click for you, I happen to think that that's fine. Like, I'm not one of these people that you have to watch all the things that I like or enjoy all the things that I like. For some stuff, for some people, it clicks. For other people, it doesn't. And that's fine.
We have two things from Hefty Lefty. One, he says soccer games are very popular in Roman bathhouses too, I've heard. But the other thing, more importantly, happy news. He says, here's some happy news. Became a dad on Friday night.
Hey, congratulations.
And I'm pretty sure she is the good luck charm for the Broncos and the Lakers. Both are undefeated in her 60-hour lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't get too comfortable with that record. Street Clothes is back, so we'll talk more about that later on, Hefty Lefty. But congratulations on the birth of your daughter and all that. Good for you, man. You will never sleep again. There's, I have no advice. I got a mess of kids, and there's no advice. You're just not going to sleep. So you got that coming. 888-368-1580. Last Optimist says, have been in a number of bars for Liverpool fan clubs and have never seen people ripping their clothes off. Lots of singing, though. So what's up with your Argentinians there, Keon?
Yeah, look, like I said, I don't think that this is standard operating procedure. I think it is those guys in particular, but it was wild. I wish there was another person there when I pulled up to see what I saw.
Stockton Slap says, happy Monday, guys. One of the best World Cup finals ever, but that thing was rigged. Also, not mad at the Cowboys lost because I'm taking a page out of Jeffries and saying, we're tanking. Okay.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
That's sad. Cowboys clearly aren't tanking. They're just one word, and that's exposed. My team is a joke and a half. And if we weren't tanking, I would probably switch teams already. But it's back to your how's it rigged? How's the World Cup finals rigged?
I don't know. I watched
most of it. Need more info there, Stockton Slap. Big T says pickleball has a bigger following than soccer.
That is simply not true.
Ooh, well,
in my mind, it is. Thank you, Big T.
According to the overnight numbers, I guess
billions.
The World Cup semifinals averaged 6.53 million viewers on Fox. That's up 27% from 2018, where it was 5.15 million. That's just the semifinals. Still waiting on the.
Well, that's
of course,
America.
Of course, FIFA they have their numbers already released. How they somehow got all their numbers, but I wouldn't
trust
believe
FIFA.
that. No.
Yeah. But I would about guarantee you that about 2 billion people in this planet probably did watch the games. Absolutely. Probably the largest watched television event in the history of mankind. But we, of course, in our arrogance, we say America. And I'm okay with that because guess what? I only know English and I live in America. I don't care about soccer. So whatever. America. I'll join right in on that one. Historian says, hey, it was also another first about this. No drunk British fans were arrested. Yeah, because they outlawed alcohol. So
yeah.
I was
because
surprised
there was no drunk British fans.
I'm surprised they didn't pregame. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. FIFA says Thundar the Santa Barbarian is incredibly good at conning the United States every 4 years that this is the year the U.S. really has a chance. Despite the fact we never really have a chance. The reason they do this, TV money. I enjoy watching soccer at the stadium, actually, on TV, not so much. Congrats to Hefty Lefty on his baby. Yeah, that's right. Baby. Hefty Lefty says, the best memory of this World Cup was the former Miss Croatia at the games bouncing along with the old milk makers there. Is that the girl you're talking about, Keon?
No, different person. Just a random
bouncing
Argentina fan.
along.
I like how
with the old milk makers.
Like 60 hours after a baby, he now refers to them as milk makers.
Unbelievable.
Sheriff Tom says, I always liked the Colts from the days of Baltimore and Johnny Unitas.
Although Andrew Luck too, yeah. Especially like their helmets with the horseshoe. But after Saturday's debacle, I believe the horseshoe should be replaced with a horse's ass. Could be.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sheriff
that's a
Tom.
good point.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
point.
I'm not even mad or arguing, Sheriff Tom. If it hadn't been engineered by Jim Irsay, I'd be upset. But I know this means better things are coming. So thanks, Sheriff Tom. Let's see. Last Optimist says, I trust FIFA to stay bought. Well, I guess there's one thing you can count on forever. 888-368-1580. We've got a bunch of happy news to talk about because, like I said, nothing happy happened for the Cardinals, the Commandos, the Colts. And for a lot of you guys, I know Cowboys, I know a lot of people are not happy. That's all I'm going to say. So when we come back, we're going to talk about some happy things before we jump in and start talking about all the games that happened over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update.
NBA tonight, the Sacramento Kings taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Sacramento a 9-point favorite at home, minus 400 on the money line. The Hornets plus 320 over under 239. The Philadelphia 76ers home to face Toronto. Sixers a 7-point home favorite, minus 275. Raptors plus 230 over under 221. The Rockets home to face San Antonio. Houston a 4-point home favorite, minus 175. Spurs plus 155 over under 228. Cleveland a 6-point home favorite over Utah, minus 230. The Jazz plus 200 over under 222. Red hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Remember last year when you wanted to hear that NFL matchup, but you couldn't because you were at your nephew's birthday party and the Fanatic couldn't stream the NFL on their app? Didn't that suck?
Well, those days are over, pal. Now you can listen live to every primetime NFL game on the Fanatic app. Download the app now at the Google Play Store or the App Store, or at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. I just get a stray thought here. I know this is probably not the day for stray thoughts because we've got a lot to do. Did you notice that there's a bunch of vehicles out there now that start at $100,000?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Like the Rivian and the Jeep Wagoneer and some other big vehicles. $100,000 damn dollars?
Yes.
Man, I'm still struggling with the $25,000 or the $35,000 in a vehicle going, because remember, we were kids. They had a brand new car for sale for $6,999. And you're like, oh, that's a lot of money. I don't know.
Yep.
My first car cost $650. And I love that thing. So I just, it's kind of crazy. It's crazy how there's got to be a line where people are like, all right, stop. And I think that's why Jeep and Stellantis are in trouble. They came out with these vehicles and people are like, no, we're going to pass on that one. And now they can't sell bleep. Just saying. Anyway, stray thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that you would think that a car that doesn't cost you nearly what you're asking for it to put together, you're asking that much money for.
3 or 4 vehicles should not equal your house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I paid $70,000 for my first home.
Mm-hmm.
And the cars are much more than that now. In some cases, twice as much.
I know. I'm just saying it's getting out of control. But I'll tell you what, I think that this is hurting the car companies now. They're going to kind of pull back. Hang in there. You'll probably find some deals. Boomer Sooner says, congratulations, Jeffrey. Your Colts won. Sorry, Jeffrey. Can you explain this phenomenon? They did win in my book. They put up all them damn points. I don't want to talk about this right now. We're not talking about this right now. I want to stick with the happier news first. Okay. And then we'll get to all these texts that are on here, except for yours, Navy Brad, Skull, Super Bowl 57. Here we come. No, shame on you. Shame on the Vikings for getting down 30, what was it,
33 points in the first half.
To nothing before you came back. Shame on you for even having to work that hard and have to go to overtime versus the Colts. So all you Vikings fans out there, you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. All right, so let's go to the happy news. All right, ASU beat San Diego, and that was to be expected because San Diego is not a great school. Remember, Keon comforted us on Friday and said, "Yeah, you don't even have to worry about this." And now they find themselves in their rightful place, the AP Top 25. They are now in there.
All right.
All the way at the bottom, but they're in there.
Yeah, they're literally 25.
25.
But they're in there.
Yeah, what do they got to do to move up now? Who do they got to beat next to, move up that thing?
They got a couple games against Arizona coming up here pretty quick. So if they beat a top 10 Arizona team, I think they can move up.
Wait a second. They're not top 10.
Arizona is top 10.
Holy crap. They're top. Oh, they're all the way up there at 5.
Yeah.
Oh, never.
Yeah. No, they're damn good, which is where they are roughly
are a little bit
every year. They're in the
That's
10-5 range because that's how good they are.
That's the U of A basketball regular area, around 4 or 5.
I'll be honest, I wasn't looking for him up there. I just saw us down there and I thought, oh, look at that. We're in there and Arizona's not. I didn't even bother to look up there. Oh,
well,
brother.
I mean, when we start Pac-12 play, look at some of the other teams, UCLA, USC, U of A. You look at some of these teams that are, that have been pre-ranked and are still ranked in the top 25. We start beating these guys, and we should move up the rankings, pretty quick.
Well, Purdue is still up there at number 1, and UConn is close behind.
UConn. I mean, that is a man team among boys. That UConn team.
So, all right. Well, we don't even go too deep into this right now. It's still kind of early in the season, but I was just happy to see we got ranked. We'll see how long we can hold on to it. But
yeah, I mean, it should have happened like 2 or 3 polls ago, in my opinion. But they got here eventually. It's one of the best starts in school history.
They were just waiting to make sure, before
that's
they
the
put
thing,
us in there.
I kind of get it. I don't like that the writers kind of use the bias of, well, I don't trust this team because of what happened last year. But early in the season, that's kind of all the information you have to go on. And that team was very underwhelming last year. And so it's good to see Bobby Hurley. Some of these games they're winning, they're supposed to win, but that wasn't happening last year. So I'm proud of him.
Has not been a dominant season for GCU, but they win the games when they're supposed to. And I guess Saturday they beat Pepperdine 83-73, and old Gabe McLaughlin, led the way there with 20 points. I don't know if there was anything, notable from that matchup, Keon. If there's anything that happened that bears mentioning.
I mean, for me, the big thing is Gabe McLaughlin. I was really kind of looking for a big Gabe McLaughlin game at some point, and he had some good games, but this game where he's got the double-double, because it wasn't just the 20 points, it was the 13 rebounds for him too. When he's playing like that, this is a Lopes team that is actually really tough to beat. And I do think that it gives them a little bit of cover while Javon Blackshear Jr. starts to get back to his normal self. He missed a few games and he's been back, but he hasn't been 100%. But he keeps getting better every game. So I hope that they can kind of hold down the fort until he gets back to 100%.
And then more good news. Listen to this. There's this gambler there. He had this parlay, right? And it was a 5-pick parlay. He picked the Browns. He picked the Dolphins at +7, Jaguars +4, and then straight up on the Raiders and the Vikings. And he wagered $31,000 on this 5-pick parlay. The parlay was +9,191, which means he won $2,880,000 and lost his damn mind when Chandler Jones got the go-ahead score for him to win. They did not look good at all, and it was going to overtime. And then, bam! Chandler Jones says, "Here's about $3 million for you, buddy." Bow! Can you believe that? Can you believe the Stones to put $31,000 on a parlay? Oh my God!
Yeah, I mean, you either know something the rest of us don't know, or you are insane, or maybe some combination of the two.
They did say he was a professional gambler called Marco Parlays, and so I guess he kind of knew what he was.
I guess he knew what he was doing to a degree, but when you have a game end the way that Patriots Raiders game, there's no way you could have known that. That guy was sitting there sweating it out like you wouldn't believe.
I was sweating out last night. I didn't think the entire day. I thought, well, after the points that Moiswan put up on Saturday, no chance. But then as the day went on, I'm sitting there during watching that game. I just kind of look at my phone. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like 1 point away from winning. And then, of course, I had the Washington defense, Terry McLaurin and Saquon Barkley. So at the end there, when the Giants kicked the field goal, well, then I lost more points. I lost by 4 points. And then neither of my players ever saw the ball again. And I lost. I was kind of sitting there going, could it be? Could it be? And it's like, no, it's not going to be. All right, fine.
And they took that Terry McLaurin touchdown off the board too, which just
there was a lot. We're going to talk about it, but some referees need to be fired for that game. Not just because my fantasy football had something to do with it, just because I have eyes. We'll talk about it. Here's some more good news. Drake lost $1 million on the World Cup finals.
Beautiful. Chef's kiss.
Good God. He did pick Argentina to win, but I don't know what the hell he did. I'll be honest. I don't care. He did something stupid, so he lost $1 million. So I'm happy. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know how gambling necessarily works with soccer. I've never tried to bet on it. I don't know enough to feel confident to bet on it, but I'm guessing it might have something to do with the fact that Argentina won on penalty kicks that might have screwed him over, which is even more hilarious.
All I know is I'm glad he didn't win. Another piece of good news is Chris Paul graduated from Winston-Salem State University with a degree in mass communications. And then he gave $2,500 to each and every one of his graduating classmates as just because he was happy. So,
$2,500.
Yeah. But now with this degree in mass communications, he can finally start making some real money.
I was just going to say 2,500 lousy bucks.
I mean, lousy bucks. That's $2,500 they weren't getting from anybody.
$2,500.
What did you expect from Chris Paul?
Million.
How many people were in that class?
Million.
If there was 100 people, you see what I'm saying? That's $250,000. $250,000.
Million.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree here with Jeffrey. That's a quarter of $1 million.
Anybody anything?
That's a $250,000 for.
You know what? You know what he does for a living, right? He counts money. That's what he does for a living.
I think you're confusing him with Cliff Paul, his twin brother.
Yeah, that's probably right. That dude's an accountant.
All
Chris
seriousness,
Paul.
that is good news. That is very cool and on his behalf. Very cool.
So, I mean, at his age, anyway,
it's one of those things. I see this happen with a lot of athletes where it's like obviously you leave school early if you get the opportunity to play in the NBA, but a lot of these guys promise their moms, in particular, I will finish college. I will get the degree because it's important to them to just have that in the family.
All right. So before we can move on to football and stuff, we do need to take care of some business. And I just want you to know that the following is a cause and effect. It's a two-parter. It's a two-part on this date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1986, a judge fined Michael Sergio $500 and sentenced him to 100 hours of community service for criminal trespassing after prosecutors dropped the more serious charge of reckless endangerment because he parachuted into Shea Stadium during the first inning of Game 6 of the World Series. In May, the 37-year-old actor and New York Mets fan will be sentenced to 6 months in jail for contempt of court because he refused to turn in the pilot who flew the plane that he jumped out of. So he did 6 months in a Gray Bar Hotel because of that. Now you're like, wow, that's pretty heavy duty. Why? Well, 10 years earlier, on the same day. A single-engine Piper Cherokee plane crashed in the upper deck of Baltimore's Memorial Stadium, home of the Orioles and then Colts, injuring the pilot. He got arrested for violating air safety regulations and 3 others. Minutes before the mishap, plane had buzzed the stadium during the final moments of the Steelers' playoff victory over the Colts. So because this guy's flying over and he crashes into the stadium, miracle, nobody died. That was amazing. But so, 10 years later, somebody jumps in a parachute. They're like, well, we want to know the pilot more than we care about you. So that's why he was only going to get $500 and 100 hours community service. But you know what they say, it's New York and snitches get stitches. So he did 6 months in federal jail because he wouldn't give up the pilot. Well, that's why, though, they came down on him so hard for that. Pretty interesting, huh?
It is, and that's a guy you can trust right there. That's somebody's best friend.
Doubt.
Where
You mean a parachutist?
Parachutist, yeah. I mean, that's somebody's
Michael
best friend.
Sergio.
If something goes wrong, you just call him and go, "Hey, Mike, I need a hand. I got."
It's all in the name, Michael Sergio. I got a feeling he's Italian. Is that an Italian name? I think it's an Italian name, Sergio, or is that a Spanish thing? I don't know. But it's New York. If nothing else, it's New York, and there's a good chance that other guy is Italian. You just don't. You don't snitch on Italians. You probably don't snitch on Spaniards. You just, if you're in New York,
if you don't snitch, you're probably safe.
Probably don't snitch. So there you go. Now we've got on this date in Big George sports history. Now we got 2 hours. I've done it. We have 2 hours to talk about all the games from the weekend, which means we probably won't make it because you know how it goes.
We can just move right by the damn Cardinals collapse. Just move right on by it. Hey, just
we can't.
Suffice
We
it to
can't.
say,
We can't.
we're tanking.
Yeah. Oh, you can't do that. People can't all take my line.
No, we're tanking. I believe it now.
I mean,
we're
you
tanking.
probably are now.
We have bigger problems
No,
right now than
hell
tanking.
no, we're tanking.
We will get around to that. Let me just get caught up on the text line. There's some texts have been sitting here for quite some time. Donnie says, please remind your audience, specifically Boogie, that when you win the division, you get to be called division champs. Lions fans wouldn't know anything about that, though, would they? I don't know why this is a fight. If it's a Twitter fight, don't bring it in here, Donnie. And I don't want to talk to you about the Colts, so shut up. Let's see. Historian says, oh, great. My computer's moving slow. He says, don't worry about it, Jeffrey. The Colts are going to trade Matt Ryan for Kyler Murray and Saturday for Kingsbury. You know, historian, I always respect your text so much, but that was one of the dumber things, I think. I expect that from Boogie. I just don't expect that from you, historian. Do better.
2 minutes for him.
I don't know if that's necessary.
Bad text. 2 minutes.
Damn. Jagdog says, Randy, Jalen Hurts will not play another down this year. Minshew Mania starts this weekend versus the Cowboys. Minshew's going to take the Eagles to a Super Bowl championship and Minshew Valuable Player Trophy. Wait a second. Jalen Hurts is hurt?
I didn't know is, but he's got a sprained shoulder. So I don't know that was going to be, he's done for the year. He could miss a couple of weeks.
I knew he got a little ding, but I didn't know that they were saying he was going to play again. That's just Jagdog trying to speak it into being.
Minshew is probably going to play a game or two, though.
That's awesome. I think they'll still win. I believe, too. Berg says, afternoon, guys. Go ASU, and great time yesterday. Yeah, that's right, man. Berg took a picture. I keep forgetting how good our seats are at the ASU games. You know, that was pretty nice. Him and his daughter and family, they had a great time out there at the ASU game. Let's see. Matt Ryan says Kyle G has to have PSTD episode every time he sees a team leading by double digits. He must be the second most cursed quarterback behind Jim Kelly in his 4 Super Bowl losses. Yeah, I'll tell you what. There is something. How could you not believe that we are tanking after that?
It's hard to argue, but I know that Matt Ryan wasn't specifically, because nobody wants to be the guy to oversee the worst Super Bowl collapse, also the worst regular season collapse, and have those two things on your resume. It's not
Guess
good.
what? There they are, and it's going to be a while before his name's off it. Boogie says Detroit Lions are winning the Super Bowl. Okay, Boogie. Cabana, what is he trying to say? He says, I believe France did not have a shot on goal until their first goal, and that was in the 70th minute or later. Cabana, we don't. Thanks, but nah. Beer Nut says, oh, hey, can I pick up those tickets for the Christmas Princess thing right now? I'm literally working 4 miles away. Yes. Yeah, I think so. Just, knock on the door and we'll see what happens. Security's pretty tight. So, Stockton Slap says, oh, geez. I don't want to read about soccer. We already talked about soccer. Please don't tell me to talk about soccer. If you really want me to talk about soccer, I'll read your text, but only if you really want me to talk about soccer. I really want to talk about soccer. Cardinal Art says, Jeffrey, if tanking was a team, the Indianapolis Colts are the definition. I just wish the Cardinals would take note. Well, Randy seems to think they are. It's Patrick says, well, at least the Denver Broncos won yesterday.
I should just point out, if you look at the draft order right now, the Cardinals are ahead of the Colts.
What? That will not stand. CK says, to be fair,
you
bought your house, your $70,000 house back in the 70s.
No,
he didn't. That's not true. You could buy a house in the 90s for $65,000-$70,000. Kiss the Cook says, like the sand through the hourglass, these are the Colts of our lives. It's more like the Cardinals, man. Dick Whisker says, you think Devin Booker's 58-point game was the best of his career thus far? Did you forget the 80-point game he had?
I don't know if it was 80, but it was like 70.
80-point game. It was 78. There was an 8 involved. Look it up, Keon. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Joe the Show says, Randy, Jeffrey, Keon, good day, fellas. I am so pissed, man. The Lakers are in town tonight. AD, LeBron, and Austin Reeves are hurt. And then on the Sun side, Booker and maybe DeAndre Ayton are out. So it's going to be a bench game, I guess, between the Suns and the Lakers, huh? Let me guess. Yeah, you're going. You got tickets, Joe, or you just was hoping to see a better game? Let's see here. Navy Brad says, happy Monday. Solid question. With the Cardinals loss yesterday and having watched the game, I saw several players not trying hard. Others were. Will the Cardinals clean some house this week?
Well, not this week. Like you at this point in the season, you've got what you've got. Finish out the year, and then the
we're tanking.
The day like we like to refer to as Black Monday.
We're tanking.
Then you clean house.
You know what? I just have to say, big risk. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the show, and considering how much noise there is with all the booze orders and the fact that you hate this show so much, to go ahead and text in. So I just want to say, big risk. Thank you so much. Oh, but look at the time. We can't read your texts. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Kevin Harlan for Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Join me and Ross Tucker when the Green Bay Packers take on the Los Angeles Rams at Lambeau. Last week, Baker Mayfield took the reins as a replacement for the injured Matthew Stafford and led the Rams to an impressive and dramatic win over the Raiders. Now they face Aaron Rodgers and the rested Packers at Lambeau on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1580, The Fanatic, Arizona's home for the NFL.
Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back. If your first bet doesn't win, just sign up with the promo code WIN. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to points player props. So sign up today with promo code WIN for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Must be present in state where lawful to wager. 21 plus in select states. First online real money wager. Only refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Arizona 1-800-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Indiana, Kansas 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com. Louisiana 1-877-770-STOP. New York 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. Wyoming, West Virginia 1-800-522-4700 or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
ADOT's I-10 Broadway Curve Improvement Project is in the works. It's an 11-mile stretch of Interstate 10 between Loop 202 and I-17. When complete, your travel time through the area will be reduced. Access to Sky Harbor, retail centers, and colleges will be improved. And the region will be able to better support a growing economy and more. Keep up with the project and traffic updates at i10broadwaycurve.com and stay ahead of the curve. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
If you're rolling over your 401k to an IRA soon, but not sure if you want to go all in on this crazy market, here's what many retiring professionals are doing. How about a safe and secure IRA offering a contractually guaranteed 10% income bonus that grows 7% annually guaranteed? Your income can double in 10 years. Meanwhile, neither your principal nor your retirement income is ever subjected to a market downturn. Even if the market crashes by 50%, you get the 10% bonus. Your income keeps growing at 7%, and your principal may grow without losses uncapped. You go up with the index, never down, forward, never back. Get a 10% income bonus with a 7% contractually guaranteed growth rate. I compare over 1,200 annuities with a fiduciary duty and can help you retire and stay retired.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
This is Brent Musburger. Don't miss Pro Football Blitz, Saturday afternoons, right here on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and heads up 5:30 p.m. Rams at Packers. David Bakhtiari and Aaron Donald both ruled out of that game. I don't know if that affects the way you pick this or not. I know that it's Baker Mayfield versus Aaron Rodgers, but again, it's not really them versus each other, is it? It's them versus the other defense. Does this information about Aaron Donald and David Bakhtiari cause you to want to change or pick anybody? Because I got Green Bay. That's who I picked already. It doesn't help that David Bakhtiari's out, but I think it really helps Green Bay that Aaron Donald isn't around. I don't know.
Yeah,
what do you guys think?
I'm not really going to change my pick because it does kind of balance out. You got Aaron Donald out on the defensive line. You got David Bakhtiari out on the offensive line. I know Bakhtiari doesn't match up directly with Aaron Donald, but still, I mean, what each line is short of major guys. So I don't know how much that's going to change.
Bakhtiari versus Aaron Donald, and they're both gone. So the difference, which difference, is tilted more than the other? That's what I'm saying. I think Aaron Donald not being there helps the Packers more than David Bakhtiari being gone hurts them.
I agree with that, but it's really close to me. I don't think it's a giant gap of difference, because if you don't have Aaron Donald, going up against Bakhtiari would be really tough because he is a fantastic lineman, and now that he's not there, it's a replacement level player basically. So
but Bakhtiari hasn't been there like all season. He's been in and out.
It's been in
like
and
all
out.
this season.
They say he has illness in his abdomen.
He had a knee injury to start the season, or was it recovering from knee surgery, something like that. So he was, and then I think he re-injured that knee, and he's been in and out. I think the more shining example of who's going to be missed would be Aaron Donald in that Rams defense.
The Packers run the ball so much more now than they did at the beginning of the season. I know that Bakhtiari hasn't been there a ton, but when he's there, he's a difference maker, and it helps them run the ball. So they are going to struggle on that front a little bit.
Incarcerated person texted in, and he says, "Hey, good for that guy not routing out the pilot. We like guys like that in here." That right there is a good point. And by the way, incarcerated person, I'm not going to read anything out loud, but I saw what your release date is from a previous text, and I think it'd be great if we went and picked him up. A big old radio remote. Problem is, we can't. No, listen, because they still, if they find out he's got a phone in there, they're going to keep him longer. So I don't want to put any of that at risk, or else we would do that. But wow, it ain't as soon as you'd like to see. So hang in there, buddy, and don't get in trouble. Let's see. Hook'em Hottie says the Cowboys might win. Happy Hanukkah to me. Might win what?
Cowboys
Didn't they just
win.
lose?
Yeah, they lost to Jacksonville. Just about the way I thought they would.
So I guess she's trying to say they might be able to win and still find their way into the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, all four teams from the NFC East are still looking at the playoffs, right?
I mean, yeah.
Well, I think that the Phillies, the Eagles, didn't they lock it up? The Eagles locked it up already.
Yes.
Yeah, the Eagles clinched, and the other three teams are still in.
Yeah, they're still in. I had a sheet on that, but I figure we talk about that tomorrow. After tonight's game, everything becomes official. You know what I'm saying?
Washington, New York flip flop. That's basically what happened.
Right, but it's still you could see all four teams in there. There is a way for that to happen this season
for the first time ever.
Yeah, they used to be the joke. The NFC East used to be the big joke of the league. Now it's the AFC South. Mine over here.
They were the NFC least a year ago. That was. I don't know what's changed exactly. Maybe some easier schedules. That's definitely playing a factor there. But still, that's pretty.
All
impressive.
I know is the Cardinals are tanking. That's all I know.
Nurse Scratchit says, so is the plan for the Cardinals to lose to get a better draft pick? Is that our only hope? That is not the plan, I guarantee you. Cliff Kingsbury is playing for his career, and the whole thing is a mess. I don't know what's a bigger mess, the Colts or the Cardinals, I'll be honest. And then to find out that the Colts are behind the Cardinals for draft picks,
it's the tie.
Blows my mind.
The Cardinals have 10 losses. The Colts only have 9.
Harry Soap says, Cardinals season in a nutshell, glug, glug, glug.
Yep.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, if Minshew torches the Cowboys defense, does that hurt Jalen Hurts MVP odds?
No.
I don't think so. Nah. Josh Allen and former Buckeye quarterback Joey Burrow finding their way into the discussion, by the way. Woo! Says, hi, guys. Well, it took 30 years to break the greatest comeback record set in 1992 by guess who? Frank Reich. Yeah. 2022 is pretty bad Frank Reich year, isn't it? Yeah. Frank Reich's probably sitting at home like, if I weren't a Christian man, I think that maybe God hated me. And I feel like Jeff Saturday did this on purpose. I think he did this on purpose. Stockton Slap says, Jeffrey, please read what I wrote. It's serious. Okay. Well, for one, FIFA, the FIFA, is one of the most corrupt organizations in the world. We all knew that.
Yeah.
Is he trying to get a hit put out on us? Is that what it is?
It's publicly known how Qatar bribed FIFA to win this World Cup. The owner of PSG, which is the team where Messi and Mbappe play, is very wealthy Qatari with ties to FIFA higher-ups. Argentina was receiving favorable calls throughout the tournament. It was just very scripted for Messi to win. Who is their darling child and money cow? That's very important to have been read.
I know what you're saying, but my thing is that soccer is very similar to basketball in that superstars always get calls, man. It wasn't just Messi and it wasn't just Mbappe. It was everybody. I mean, every superstar that was playing got good calls. That's just part of when you've got referees and subjective calls. That's how that kind of works, man.
Maybe Messi got better calls because they really couldn't see him. He's only like 3'6".
He is
Messi was so small growing up. He actually had to take HGH to grow to normal size. So he's a tiny guy.
Oh, well, the HGH, huh?
Hey, Kyler.
It was before he was a professional. It was literally when he was younger. They were just like, if you don't take this, you will be too small to do this forever.
If I take some HGH, Now I'm 52 years old and I have shrunk an inch, or actually I think more than an inch in height. If I take some HGH, will I get my height back?
I don't.
Where can I get this stuff?
I'm pretty sure because he was going through puberty that helped. I don't think that's going to help.
I don't mind going through it again.
It's not going to make you do it again.
You know, you're not a doctor. CK says Colts had one job. All they had to do was not blow a 33-point lead.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. You know, listen, and here's the thing. Let me just give you we're going ahead and let's talk about it. So the Colts have a pretty good defense, but every defense, and this happened a lot this weekend, if you leave them on the field for a long ass period of time because your offense is inept and is 3 and out over and over, or like Matt Ryan likes to do, gives the ball back to the other team, fumbles or this or that, your defense can't hang in with that constant abuse. Because remember, it's harder to be on defense than it is on offense. Your offense, you're pushing forward. Defense, you're trying to hold something back. Defense is harder than offense. And
especially with the rules today. I mean, you can't touch anybody, so that's a problem. And then on top of that, the offense knows what they're going to do. You're just reacting if you're on defense.
If you leave the defense out on the field for as long as they did, and you can't do anything on offense, of course this is going to happen. And again, I'm not mad about it. It's embarrassing, but we're tanking. And at that point, I just said that I leaned into it. I was like sitting there hoping, oh, come on, please miss this kick. My wife is like, you want them to win? I'm like, no, I just want to see this tie. I just think it's funny. And, it was horrible. It's a horrible thing. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to the defense. The defense, pretty good. The defense pretty good, and without rest, you can't withstand that. So,
and look, if the Colts had won that game, they'd actually be in the pick order. They'd be behind the Falcons, Panthers, and Eagles.
Jim Irsay is no dummy. He's been going to this high school for 7.5 years. That's from Better Off Dead. Anyway, so all right, there we are. The Colts' biggest letdown or the largest comeback, whichever way you want to look at it. And Matt Ryan twice in his career for just the horribleness of it. Please, Matt Ryan, why have you not retired today? You should retire today. He won't, because there's a lot of money coming to him next year, isn't there? He's hanging in there. Mm-hmm. He's hanging in there. And inside, he is just dead inside. He's just, if you take a picture of him at the beginning of the season and you take a picture of him now, you can match that up to guys who had their picture taken right before they went off to World War II. Bright and young and happy, and they come back, their eyes are all sunken in, their faces all like, oh my God, what have I seen?
Or whenever someone gets elected president, and then after their term is over, they're just a shell.
No. Oh, they're just a little bit gray. I'm talking about Banksy, not Banks. What's that guy? Oh, forget it. That guy. Anyway, shell shock for sure. Joe the Show says, yeah, I got tickets to the game. I'm still going and cheering for my sons, but geez, it would have been cool to at least have some type of star in tonight's game. No CP3. Russ don't count, by the way. And CP3 is fleecing the Suns organization for like $35 million a year for 4 years. He could have slid $5K to each student, really. That was what Randy thought, but I'm never going to. If somebody hands me $2,500, I'm not going to go, is that it?
You could have given me at least 2 times that. I mean, come on.
Navy Brad says, I'm watching the show at home on TV. Who's the new guy? Irv McMahon. Oh, that's Randy. Why did you change your name on there to Irv McMahon?
Thank you.
Why did you do that?
Randy's not. He no longer works here. Irv McMahon is the name.
Is Randy White Cardinals fan in hiding?
Yeah, I can't confirm or deny that. Yeah, Irv McMahon here. That's the name.
So when we come back, I'm going to try to blaze through what's on the text line right now. But I'm telling you, you probably shouldn't text in too much because we have a lot of football to talk about now. We only have an hour and a half to do it. So come on back, ladies and gentlemen, talking football. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure.
That's why I got him Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure for fast, powerful nighttime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. NyQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
Good news for men. Studies are showing certain jewelry can save the day with your sweetie. For example,
You forgot my birthday?
here, this is for you.
Ah, wow. Better late than never.
It even changes their minds.
I'm leaving you.
Here, this is for you.
I'm staying.
But this amazing jewelry can only be found at select jewelers.
Diamond Gems Jewelry, family owned and trusted with expert watch and jewelry repair. Buy, sell, or trade up. Free appraisals. Diamond Gems Jewelry, Arizona's most huggable jeweler, with Uptown Phoenix and Westside locations.
Homeowners age 62 and older, now is time to act. This is Rob Canyon, retirement mortgage specialist and host of the Retire Right with Reverse Rob show on 1510 KFNN. Yes, listing prices are down, but home values still remain at very high levels. Don't wait to learn more about the new and improved home equity conversion mortgage. This is a safe and proven coordinated strategy in retirement, which will improve your monthly cash flow, lower your tax liabilities, and make your retirement portfolio last longer. Call me today, Reverse Rob at 602-REVERSE, or on the web at www.reverserob.com.
Well, Mrs. Grayer, nothing on the x-ray that pinpoints the source of the pain. Let's send you to our lumbar expert.
After reviewing the x-rays, I can't see anything wrong. Let's give you a steroid shot for the pain and send you to the lab for some blood work.
Tired of the runaround? How about trying a new approach? The holistic approach.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Don't be fooled by the people you meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but anyone who tries to sell you pills is nothing more than a drug dealer. And if you think tiny pills can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Know the truth about fentanyl at learnmoreaz.org. Don't be fooled. Don't be faked out. Visit learnmoreaz.org. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
People settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now.
3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White.
Irv McMahon.
Still Randy White, actually. Keon
McMahon.
Rose is in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. I ain't got no time for your existential crisis, Randy. We got a lot of football to talk about. So we can address your weirdness later. Right now, we just got to talk about football, a lot of football. So I'm going to go very quickly through the texts that are still sitting here, and I don't even know what Donnie is talking about. He says, can you guys please give Kirk Cousins the credit he finally deserves?
No.
No, he's down 33-0.
Yeah. What? Against who? The Colts.
It hurts a little bit, but yeah, I agree. Yeah.
No, the Colts this year, this defense is not what it was built to be because they're not healthy. And he had to come from behind against that defense. Or
He says if it was Mahomes or Kyler Murray, we'd talk about it 3 hours nonstop. We never talked anything 3 hours nonstop, have we?
And if it was Mahomes, I mean, we've never talked Mahomes for more than a segment. He's awesome, but he's not our guy. Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it's just
Donnie, congratulations. Your team came back from a 33-point deficit. Only the second time in NFL history a team has come back in the regular season like this. And it happens to be your Minnesota Vikings. based probably on a little of the fact that they probably got their heads out of their keister and started playing some football. And secondly, the Colts are who the Colts are. I mean, come on. They didn't really have any answer for the Minnesota. It should have been 33-0 Minnesota, and the end of the game should have been like 68 to nothing. But who wants to go there? Congratulations, Donnie, on a slim victory. There you go. How was that, Donnie? Is that good?
You get credit.
Congratulations! It took you overtime to beat the Colts.
Yeah,
it's just you get credit for the win, but you don't get to text in and start saying, "Can my quarterback get credit for greatness?" No. He had 2 interceptions and he was in the process of shooting his own foot off in the first half. No, you don't get. He almost got your wide receiver, your star wide receiver, who's the guy that's actually carrying your team. You almost got him killed with a bad throw.
Donnie,
no, he doesn't get credit. What are you
Donnie,
talking about, man?
If you would have had Kyler Murray or Patrick Mahomes, you would have won by big points.
Yep. So here's the thing. So the Vikings beat the Colts. It took you overtime to do it. And that's it. That's all you need to remember. You have nothing to be proud of. It smells a lot like how exposed the Cowboys have been lately. So the Vikings and the Cowboys, in my head, kind of the same team right now. Kind of the same team. Vikings a little bit better, but kind of the same. And by the way, yes, speaking of Justin Jefferson, now Kevin O'Connell, the coach of the Vikings, he's like, this is about the 5th or 6th week that he took that kind of hit. And he drew a flag, but I'm starting to get the idea. These guys are doing it on purpose. Keon nailed it. It's not that people are targeting him for that kind of hit. He's being set up for that by his own quarterback.
I mean, on the throw where he got destroyed, it was like behind him. I mean, it's just he was completely covered. What did you think he was going to do when he got the ball? Except get destroyed. It's just one of those throws when a quarterback makes it where I have to wonder, do you even like the guy you threw the ball to? Because you didn't set him up to do anything but get obliterated.
I don't know if Kirk Cousins actually giggling going, watch this. I don't think so, but
I don't think so either, but it's just a
Donnie,
question that pops into my head.
Donnie, listen, you always accuse all of these sports talk show hosts and all the fans here in Arizona with a very, very narrow brush. We are not like the other shows. So whatever you accuse us of, you've never been right. Maybe with the other shows, you can go ahead and keep heckling them on that. That's not this show. We've never talked 3 hours. Oh, how good is somebody, or even how bad is somebody. So we're not that show. We're not going to give Kirk Cousins credit that he doesn't deserve until he finally fully does deserve it. I stick with my original thought process on him. Yeah, he's a talented athlete. He's a good quarterback, but he's a himbo. He's not exactly deep in the old noggin there. And you've beat a bunch of easy teams and you've started to get exposed. And I really don't see you having any more luck than the Cowboys. That is just it. That's it. I'm not sitting there going, the Cardinals are amazing or the Colts are this or that.
We've given Kirk Cousins his credit when he's been good. Like after the Patriots game, I thought that was a really good game for Kirk Cousins because he managed the game the whole game against a pretty good defense.
When the teams are good, we say they're good. When the teams are bad, we say they're bad. We are not like all the other people you seem to have imagined exist. So nice try, Donnie. The troll act ain't going to work here very well. Mr. Pink Eye says, so remote 1580 release party for incarcerated guy? Possibly. I just don't want to get the incarcerated guy in trouble, though. You know what I mean? I don't want like this smells like a setup. And then I wonder, are we complicit? I don't think we're complicit. I don't think we can get in trouble for this. He's texting us. We're not texting him. I don't know. I just don't want to get him in trouble. Mr. Pink Eye, thank you for the idea. And he says, by the way, oh no, that's somebody else. Hook'em Hottie says, yeah, it was when you were talking about Jalen Hurts being out and then they play on Christmas Eve. Oh, I see. So the Cowboys might beat the Eagles if Jalen Hurts doesn't play. Yeah, you forgot Gardner Minshew, didn't you? I believe.
I mean,
it's hard not to, gentlemen. It's hard not to.
I'm picking it right now.
I would say Cowboys right off the top of my head, but after this Jaguars game, I have a lot of things to reconsider.
Eagles win. Boogie says, I'm calling it now. Detroit Lions make the playoffs and bite the kneecaps off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first round.
I
think you are assuming the Buccaneers are going to make it.
There are so many different factors there, but you as long as you finally at least are not typing in all caps, so that's an improvement. Nurse Scratch It says, did the Cards make another record by having 7 sacks and still losing? Did that happen really? I didn't watch the game.
I don't know. I don't watch the Cardinals. I am not a Cardinals fan.
Defense have 7 sacks? Really?
I don't. I don't know.
Oh well, they're playing the Broncos.
Yeah. Who is this Cardinals you speak of?
Okay, Irv McMahon. Now, you changed it again. It was McManaman earlier.
No, it was Irv McMahon. That's my name. I would know my name, sir. Sir,
your name.
I would know my name, sir.
I really don't have time for
I'm going to have
nonsense.
to ask you, sir, to back up. Okay,
sir. This is if you're not Randy White, you don't belong here, and this is my show. So you just back your ass up,
sir.
Mm-hmm. Twittiot says, "How about get out of lockup remote party?" Yeah, I see more people liking the idea. It's going to be a while though. We'll have to revisit this. Raven Kid says, Jeffrey said he wants to go through puberty again. Yeah, if I get my height back, I wouldn't mind joining you. Wow. Still going through puberty there.
Straight fire.
Wow.
Pinocchio says, just shoot me after that Patriot game ending. Oh, Pinocchio, trust me, you don't want to be shot. And second, I am happy that what happened with the Patriots happened because that took attention off the Colts. That's all. That's it. That's it.
I was just telling my brother that yesterday. It's like if that play doesn't happen, we're talking about the Colts on Monday instead of this. But that is the most confusing play of the weekend. So I can't wait to get
what the hell's going on in New England that Bill Belichick would run a play like that.
That a defensive coordinator is the guy calling the plays.
First off, that wasn't the
play, by the way.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, there's some dysfunction for sure. Straight Striper says, hey, listen, Messi is short until he stands on his wallet. Forbes has him listed as the highest paid athlete this year at $130 million. Yeah.
What do they call that? The short guy syndrome?
Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
If you can compensate by just having lots of cash, it's not a bad way to go.
That's the thing. They always show pictures of him before and after, like he was younger and now. And they're like, you're not ugly. You're just poor. Mr. Pringle says, I guess the NFL should just give the Super Bowl trophy to the Lions, since they went into New York and beat that Jets Super Bowl defense. Yeah. Hyperbole. My name is Keon. I will hang up now and listen to Keon tell the Fourth Dimension how the Lions have a Super Bowl offense.
They do. They just don't have it paired with a Super Bowl defense, which is why they're not going to one.
Mars Bar says, let's blaze. Okay. He says, happy Marley Monday, fellas. Win is a win. Go Lakers, go Raiders, and I'll take an 805, please. And Randy, the Lakers are getting the W tonight. Maybe.
Hang on a second. I have a response to that. Here's my response.
Lakers.
Sorry.
There you go. Do we want to watch this game or is that just going to
why watch? AD and LeBron are they're afraid of playing the Suns because they've been embarrassed for the last 2 years.
AD's foot is just falling off of his body.
But, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's gone for a month. It's not just today.
Yeah.
Fish Tank says no moral victories here, but I was happy the Dolphins were able to get the go to toe with the Bills. Tua didn't freeze in the cold. It looked like he was playing well before the last 2 losses there. Feeling optimistic for running the table the rest of the way and losing in the first round of the playoffs, just like I'd asked for. All right. Well, that's okay. Kiss the Cook says, okay, what? He says, answer, shirts, towels, chairs, tables, a letter, Matt Ryan. Question, name things that fold. All right. Boomer Sooner says, poor Matty Ice. He has the honor of being the quarterback of the Super Bowl when he was up 28-3 and lost. Now you know.
Okay, when he was actually one of the better quarterbacks at coming from behind to win games, he was Matty Ice. I think we should take that nickname away. He's not Matty Ice anymore.
No.
There's no ice in the veins.
By the way, everybody, he did not lose it by himself. It was a team effort. Now he contributed mightily, but
He
it was
had a
not
big
just
hand in it.
him.
I just think being the guy that oversees it is really what's sticking to him.
Well, the guy who oversees it is the coaching staff. Take it up with Jeff Saturday. Average Joe says that was the best World Cup final I've ever seen. Jeffrey, you missed a great one. Did I? Really? Just okay.
If it's not your thing, it's just not your thing, man.
Watermelon says, hey, can we just move on from Donnie's crying corner? Yep. Thunder Santa Barbarian says, speaking of Patriots game, Keon, I want to congratulate Belichick on his insightful play calling there at the end of that game. Couldn't happen to a more deserving team. I feel sorry for Mac Jones, but he plays for the Patriots. I don't even like Mac Jones, so I didn't even care about that.
Mac Jones.
Let's just talk about it because it's right there. I think we've talked enough about the Colts. We're going to get to the Cardinals here in a second.
Well, they're tanking.
Understand, this was not the Patriots' design. I don't know what the hell they were trying. They thought, well, let's see if I can just lateral it back, see what he can do. Well, I think somebody forgot what was happening. It was a tie, and all you needed to do was not turn the ball over, and it was going to overtime where you would have a chance. And so then there's that play, and then there's a lateral, and then there's the other guy has it, and he's like, "Ooh, who do I give this to give us the best chance?" Oh, Mac Jones is behind the line of scrimmage. I can throw it to that guy, and then he can make magic, and we can win this game right here and right now. Except for he didn't get the ball to Mac Jones; he got the ball to
Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones, who
wrong
used to play
Jones.
for the
Arizona Cardinals.
Right. So he got it to a Jones.
Wrong Jones, but to a Jones.
As long as he didn't throw it to Mrs. Jones.
Listen, it was a mistake. It was a really dumb play. It was a Buckner-like moment. At least it wasn't in a Super Bowl or a playoff game or something like that. It was just really bad and really dumb. But there's nothing else to say. I mean, it was just really amazing.
That was not a called, designed play.
No,
it couldn't have been.
No,
it wasn't. Jacoby Myers said after the game that it was supposed to be a run. If it breaks, and we score. If it doesn't, the game's supposed to be over. Everybody knew it, but he said, I tried to be a hero, and he threw the ball away.
Who's the first person who...
Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson, he should not have lateraled back to Jacoby Myers, because Jacoby Myers gets the ball and goes, oh, we're doing this now? And he just did what you do when you think that's what's happening. I kind of blame Ramondre Stevenson.
I do blame Ramondre Stevenson, but I blame Jacoby Myers more because Jacoby Myers got the ball and he knew what's supposed to happen. They both have blame, but Jacoby Myers ran backwards as though he had a plan. And at that point, when you see nothing's there, if you fall down, the game's over. If you run out of bounds, the game is over, and you just go to overtime.
Regulation's over, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, regulation is over. But to throw it back to Mac Jones, I don't know what you expected Mac to do, even if he got the ball. Chandler Jones was standing right there. Even if you got it to Mac, Chandler was just going to destroy your starting quarterback. That's the best case scenario. Is Mac Jones gets destroyed.
I felt like Chandler Jones was very gentle when he grabbed him by the face and just kind of put him on the ground.
Just mushed him into the ground.
It wasn't a hit. Just get down there.
It was sort of like a dad to his little 7-year-old son. Yeah. Get off me, man.
I don't know what is worse, the Colts game or the Patriots game. But the Patriots game, everybody's just like, oh, that was the dumbest thing ever. Is it the dumbest? Is that the dumbest?
It's up there. I was actually thinking about it last night. Like, where does this rank in the pantheon of stupid
There's a
plays
guy who
I've ever seen?
There's a guy who ran back and got a touchdown for the other team because he forgot which way his team was going.
That's highly up there.
But their team won. They did win anyway.
A couple of plays from Leon Lett in the Super Bowl with the Cowboys back in the day. But again, those Cowboys teams won despite what happened. Mark Sanchez butt fumble. Which was an accident, but it is one of the more confusing plays I've ever seen.
Confusing? No, we're talking dumb.
Just dumb.
Like get that kid a special test kind of thing. Maybe he gets to ride instead of on the team bus, a short bus that is just close behind. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
One play that only I will probably remember is when Washington was playing New York. Like, I don't know, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and they did that play where they lined up where the center is all by himself over there and everybody else is on the other side, and then the Giants were really confused by the play and called the timeout, and then Washington ran it again. I still don't understand
that was
this
recent.
day. So that was
what about Chuck Pagano and some of the plays that little trick plays he's tried, even Frank Reich, the little trick plays, and then you're like, what the hell are you thinking? But I don't think anything is going to eclipse this one play right here for a while. I don't know.
It'll be a while, especially from a team like the Patriots, where we know they're coached on situational awareness, and that's the reason why I have to question that the year that Matt Patricia takes over as offensive coordinator, that's when all of this stuff starts happening.
Well,
I can put some of that on him.
I guess it's surprising that a team, the Patriots, would run this stupidity. I mean, a team that's
players, Randy. It's players,
but it's a team that's been built on discipline and do your job. And
I think Belichick is eased up.
You think
I think
so?
He has. Yeah, I do. I think he's eased up in the last couple of years.
I mean, when you hear Kenny Albert on the call and he
Kenny
says,
Albert,
and the play starts to unfold, and he's like, and the Stanford band is nowhere to be found. A brilliant call on this thing because it came out of the blue. There's no way you can prepare for it. And Kenny Albert has the presence of mind to say the Stanford band is not even on the field. And the second thing that's just baffling is that it's the Patriots. What in the hell is going on in New England? What the hell is going on?
Belichick says, "Yeah, we gotta do a better job throwing the ball." I don't think he was talking about Jacoby Meyer, but I guess that one counts too because if he had thrown the ball better, then this would not have happened. But I think he meant Mac Jones.
Yeah, I was listening because someone put up the Patriots broadcast on YouTube that for that sequence of events. And the play-by-play guy, very professional, keeping it together. Color commentator sounded like he wanted to swear and did his level best to not let out any words. I mean, he really was just like this close from just dropping bombs everywhere.
Would not blame him.
What in the French bread is going on here?
He was trying to keep it together. And I don't know if there was anyone angrier than him.
Choro says, where does Keon stand on scripted NFL games? What are you talking about, Choro?
Where do I stand?
There's no scripted NFL
don't think
games.
They are.
Wiz says, wait, you let Laker fans on the text line? Well, yeah, I guess.
I mean, they help the ratings too,
They're always fun to make fun of. Kyle G says, so there I was, first place in the picks contest. And then Patriots did that, and the Cards did that, and the refs screwed Washington. And I had Curtis Samuel in fantasy. So salt to the wound is I'm probably losing in fantasy too. It was a bad Sunday evening. Sorry, Kyle G.
Well,
I can relate.
It's happened to a lot of us. Boogie says, so who is Irv's favorite NFL team? It's not Irv, it's Randy White, and you know it. I'm not going to play with this.
Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Saskatchewan. Now you're Canadian too?
I'm from
Irv
the
McMahon
Canadian.
from Canada?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, brother. Fish Tank says, I hope Jacoby knows that. Let's say Mac Jones catches the ball. He knows he can't throw it forward again, right? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think he was thinking.
He even said, I was trying to find somebody behind the line of scrimmage who could throw it forward. And he's, look, Mac Jones, he'll do. Like, he doesn't. It was a dumb play. What more do you need to know? It was a dumb
I don't even think
play.
He was thinking that clearly. He saw a white jersey and chucked the ball.
All right, let me just rattle through these texts real fast, and then I'm not going to answer them. I'm just going to let them have their say. Thunar Santa Barbarian says, but I want to give Belichick crap. Well, you'll have to do that online. Hefty Lefty says, Myers had a brain fart at the absolute worst possible time in that game. Ken Kitten says, all Jacoby and Myers have to do now is file a lawsuit protesting it's not the same Jacoby and Myers. Curious ASU fan says, why is everybody complaining about the New England Patriots lateral play at the end of the game? My friend Reggie Bush is kind of curious. Fighting Wampa says, there's no such thing as the Patriot way. Patriots just had Tom Brady. Tom Brady's gone. Now there's no more Patriots. That's one way of looking at it. But then there's been other times where they played very well, and we're like, look, Belichick is the man. So
they weren't great last year, but they were disciplined last year. They didn't do this last year, anything like this. Now they've done multiple things like this being the worst thing, but This
and
is
yes,
different.
Boomer Sooner, we did see Chandler Jones smear Mac Jones's face into the ground after the interception and then running in for a touchdown. All right, let's take a break. Let's come back. We'll talk some Cardinals. You're not getting off that easy, Irv McMahon. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update. NBA tonight, the Sacramento Kings taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Sacramento a 9-point favorite at home, minus 400 on the money line. The Hornets plus 320 over under 239. The Philadelphia 76ers home to face Toronto. Sixers a 7-point home favorite, minus 275. Raptors plus 230 over under 221. The Rockets home to face San Antonio. Houston a 4-point home favorite, minus 175. Spurs plus 155 over under 228. Cleveland a 6-point home favorite over Utah, minus 230. The Jazz plus 200 over under 222. Red hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwiners.com. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Did you hear Jacobs and Helly?
Tiger goes out there and he basically says that Greg Norman needs to go, and then gave an update on his health. Here comes the idiot, Ashley Perez. Quote, literally why driving under the influence is illegal. Thank God he didn't kill anyone. See, I will challenge Pat Perez and his mouthy, imbecile wife. If my guy loses, I'll retire. He loses, he retires.
Jacobs and Helly, weekday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Today we Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. CK says, get these needy Viking fans their lollipop. Jeebus.
No, it's important specifically to Vikings fans that we say that they're good. They need the validation so bad. They need it because it's not good enough for them to just look at their own team and go, hey, you know what? It's, screw the haters. It's us against the world. They need us to say that their team is good. And I don't know why.
Well, does it help? I'll just say that it's a good team.
If you believed that your team was a Super Bowl team, what do you need my saying so for?
Yeah, I picked them. I picked them to win that game. So, I mean, they're a good team. I think that the Cowboys are a good team, but they're not great teams. And, they're both teams are kind of getting exposed lately. Even if you got the W, you still got a little exposed. But we'll get to that in a second. Right now, we're going to talk about what happened with the Cardinals getting beat by the Broncos. Randy, why don't you help me out here? I'm sure you watched the entire game. What happened here? I mean, I know that Colt McCoy getting the concussion didn't help, and Trace McSorley having to come in. But what do you have to say about this mess?
Well, first of all, sir, it's Irv McMahon, Canadian. Second
not.
of all, I believe that the Cardinals have employed the same tactics that your Indianapolis Colts are doing, and that would be tanking.
You're not tanking. I guarantee you there's no tanking because Cliff Kingsbury, the last thing he needs is to lose games.
If a team looks this bad, for
you
this
guys just
long,
are this bad.
That's
this
the
isn't
thing.
on purpose. And there isn't like Bidwell sitting there doing what. Listen, Jim Irsay is crafty. All right. And he has he put Jeff Saturday in there. He's a high school coach. And I don't know that did he win anything as a high school coach?
He was like 5 games over 500.
Okay. So he's not even a very good high school coach. If you put him in there to coach your team, it is pretty damn obvious. And then they're like,
as a head coach,
he's like, okay, and bring back Matt Ryan. I think it gives you the best chance to win. Jeff Saturday's like, yeah, that sounds good. In reality, he's like, yeah, get the fumbler back. But if you look over here at the Cardinals, though, Cardinals, God bless them, they're sure trying. It's not like Colt McCoy went out there to lose a game. It's not like Cliff Kingsbury's in on anything. And I believe that your GM is now in rehab, and you got your owner he's a super nice guy, super straight. I don't think he would even think about tanking. There's no tanking going on with the Arizona Cardinals. They are just this bad, and you've got to eat it.
All right, you blew my cover. I don't have to eat anything because I have nothing to do other than my fanship with this team. And I can't explain. This team just sucks. They're just bad. They have a bad head coach. They have a bad offensive scheme. Their defense is in and out of consciousness. Even their special teams are horrible. What do you want me to say? I mean, we went into Denver and we crapped the bed. What do you want me to say? I don't know what else to say. I mean, I've run out of superlatives to tell you how I feel about this team. I've even tried, for God's sakes, Jeffrey, to change my name to Irv McMahon and change my origin of where I live, and it still didn't work. Okay? The team sucks.
You should have just been Irv McMahon from Mexico.
Why? You do think somebody's going to look at this and think that guy is from Mexico?
Well, that's sort of a very two-dimensional way of thinking. You think there's no white people from Mexico?
I don't know about that, but here's what I do know: the Cardinals.
Louis C.K. is a good example. I mean, he's a creep, but he was born in Mexico. Bet you didn't know that. So
I did not know that.
I don't know who Louis C.K. is, sir. I'm
well, at this point, don't look
from
at
Canada.
just let it go. But no, I just think that the Cardinals are poorly built. They're lacking talent in key areas all over the place. They have good players in multiple position groups, but there's like one good guy and then a bunch of guys that are really bad. It's J.J. Watt on the defensive line, and then just a bunch of guys. It's Budda Baker back there in that secondary, and then who even knows?
Listen, I'll give you props for Isaiah Simmons.
He's awesome too.
But Collins, I don't know. He hasn't panned out as a number one pick to me. I mean, to me, he hasn't picked as a number one pick for this.
He shows flashes, but he was always going to be a project, and he ended up not getting developed well. It's part of it.
You don't even need a rebuild. What you need is a GM to come in and refine this, because you've got DeAndre Hopkins, you got James Conner, you've got good players, you got some good pieces. You just need to clear away some of the stuff, and then you don't need to rebuild. You need to remodel.
You are exactly right. But what else can I say? Unless Mr. Bidwell will grow a pair and get rid of his pal.
I think that's happening.
And bring in somebody that knows what the hell they're doing instead of a hobby. This is a career, and the guy knows how to build a championship football team.
Yes, Jonathan Jones from CBS, he has intel that says that the Cardinals are expected to part ways in the off season. They're going to let Keim go do his thing, and I guess they're going to be kind to Keim about things, but they're saying in the off season.
Why?
I don't know.
Because they're close.
I mean, it's Michael Bidwell.
I think Michael Bidwell's not the kind of guy that can just go scorched earth. It doesn't seem like his personality.
He was a federal prosecutor.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can fire your friends.
Okay, the difference is a federal prosecutor, in Bidwell's mind, I'm prosecuting bad guys. And in his head, Steve Keim's not the bad guy. In his head, we might be frustrated with him. But that doesn't make him the bad guy. So at least you got to look at the perspective. It's his friend. That's his friend. So if he's going to say, okay, well, this is all toast, I've got to move on, but there's nothing we can do. Kyler's hurt. I got a coach who's kind of goofy. Nothing's going to get done right here, right now. So let him go off and do his thing, get well from whatever it is going on with him, and we'll take care of stuff. And he started having conversations, according to Jonathan Jones of CBS. So he says they're expected to take care of this business in the off season. So there's a light at the end of this tunnel.
Well, I hope so. But remember, you and I were standing there just this last week when Kyler Murray went down. We were talking about how this might be the saving grace for Cliff Kingsbury.
But Keim going away is the death nail for Cliff Kingsbury.
Boy, I hope
because
so.
Another GM's going to come in and say, oh yeah, and listen, by the way. And that's going to happen.
And they're not attached. Like Kingsbury and Keim, I don't know how close they are as friends, but they at least have that working relationship of trying to line up their vision on how to build this roster. And new GM's going to come in, look at this roster, go, I want to change that. I want to change this. And if Cliff goes, that doesn't work for me, he could be gone. I mean, that's generally how it goes, unless you have the coach handpick the GM, and that's not what happened here.
You know, who do you guys play next? The Cardinals.
Who cares?
I don't have it in front of me.
The Cardinals play.
So just
Trace McSorley is likely to start.
The Buccaneers next on Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas
Oh,
Day. Merry
dear
Christmas, Randy. Merry Christmas.
And that's
the kind of stuff that makes Scrooge go, F it, I'm out, I'm back. I'm just,
I'm bad again.
Trace McSorley gets the start.
And this is one of the other problems that the Cardinals had once Colt McCoy got knocked out. Kyler Murray is able to do a lot of things with his athleticism that can help the team. Colt McCoy, with his veteran leadership and his just knowledge of the game, can do a lot of things that can help the team. Trace McSorley's in this really bad spot where he can do neither of those things. He's not as athletic as Kyler.
Well,
he's not as sharp as Colt. And so he's just there. He's just a guy that's out there running around with the football.
And the other thing, what about Beecham? Beecham was our longest tenured offensive lineman, and he went down when Colt McCoy went down. And I don't know if he's going to be back. So I don't know if you guys saw the hit.
Yep.
But it was like the Colt McCoy cut his knee in half as he was going down.
Wilmer Sooner says, I think Keim did the dirty deed in Mexico, mistaken identity. Kugler and Keim look like bros. Okay, listen. We talked about this last week, and I'm not going to let this become a thing now. You are saying that based on irresponsible reporting and posts by members that are supposed to be journalists in the sports media, and it's a horribly unfair thing to level out. Let me tell you what the Cardinals are saying. They came out and said, hey, not only was it not Keim, we have video of Kugler. We have video. So, yeah. I would pump your brakes on that whole Kugler Keim thing.
Yeah,
I think that's going to turn into nothing.
I would hope that the ownership of the Cardinals would take a more serious stance on something as serious as this, and not just let him go away quietly. He wouldn't. A person like that does not deserve to be unceremoniously or ceremoniously let go. You know what I mean? Oh, go to the rehab, or we'll trump this out as
if they sold Kugler down the driveway and that what they're saying is true, then yeah, it's going to be worse than just getting fired. But on the other end, if it wasn't Keim and they let this whole narrative play out, then that other guy is worse, to let people believe that, the rumor that you helped start, so we don't know who did what yet. We don't know for sure, but right now they're saying there's video, there's witnesses, there's evidence. It was absolutely Kugler.
And they look similar. They're not the same guy.
If I could just ask Santa Claus as a Cardinals fan for one thing, just one thing, please bring in a quality general manager and a quality head coach, please. Don't bring in some also ran or another guy who had the head coach of the Broncos and then was punted out of there and became our defensive coordinator. And now we're going to move him up to be the head coach. Please
understand. Michael Bidwell is a very loyal person, but he's not a stupid person.
I don't know.
And no, he's not a stupid person. I think he has seen the writing on the wall. He's realized some things, and as much as it hurts him, he's going to be very deliberate, very calculated and careful about who is next up in that organization. I do think better days are ahead for the Arizona Cardinals. 888-368-1580. Hamilton Porter, it doesn't bother me. I'm not upset. It's, of course, the Colts are horrible right now. I'm not going to say anything other than that. He's like, hey, if a 33-point head start is not enough of a head start, what do you need to get a Colts win?
156.
New quarterback and a new coach next year. That's it. Nurse Scratchit says, yes, Santa, please, what Randy said. And she's like, God, I miss Fitzgerald. Yeah, we all do.
Not even Larry could fix this mess.
I thought you meant Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh.
Well, that's awkward.
Yeah.
By the way, did you hear this news? Kyler Murray, they are saying, is projected to be ready for the next season. Not in the middle of the season. They're saying, I guess the injury was not as bad as it probably could have been. So he could be ready to go at the start of the 2023 season.
Well, I mean, if he is 100%, I'd hate to see him go down and really hurt himself and really hurt the team. by not being 110% ready to go. So I wish for the best here. So
Dick Whisker says, a question for my fellow Cardinals fans. Do you think this is how it feels to be a Browns fan? You need years. I mean,
and we're talking decades.
The closest you have to a Browns team, it was the Commanders. That felt Brownsy. All the quarterbacks coming and going and stuff. You guys are like Browns light,
because you know what? The Cardinals have been to a Super Bowl in my lifetime. The Browns have not. Washington was, but I was 2. So yeah, like that's the category. The Lions never have. Like that's the cluster of team that is the Browns level. And then you got the Cardinals. The Cardinals have never been that. They have stretches where they're terrible, but we're not talking about multiple decades back to back to back.
Average Joe says, wow, Gordon Lightfoot reference. Digging deep. I like it. Every now and then I'll do a little Denny Miller for you. But Thundar San Barbarian says, sounds like Randy is channeling Jim Mora, not Herb Manning. And then, of course, Boomer Sooner's worried about your blood pressure.
Herb McMahon.
One of the things that old Kingsbury said, which I thought maybe he is dumb. He said he was talking about Kyler Murray, and he said, I'm sorry, about Colt McCoy. And he's talking about Colt McCoy. And he says, wow, this guy, he's smart. He could be a coach if he wanted right now. He'd probably take my job easily. He has that type of knowledge and that type of command in the locker room. Colt McCoy. Just giving people ideas to take your job.
Look,
everybody's like, let him be the coach then.
Paying a compliment. Look, it's not going to be lost on anybody that during the preseason, you tried to stick it to Kyler to get him to call plays, and everyone said he called plays better than you. I don't think that this is something that you should go around telling the world.
When they brought in Kingsbury, I know we're against a break. I'll keep it short. When they brought in Kingsbury, I thought, okay, this might be forward thinking by a Cardinals organization. Had I done my research and figured out that Kingsbury is this bad of a coach, I would have been howling from day one.
I told you back then, he was a losing college coach. He's a losing college coach.
Patrick Mahomes. I cannot stress this enough. If you have Patrick Mahomes and can't come out of college with a winning record, you're not a good coach.
I just went on the radio, you two. You don't have to circle me like some hungry jackals, all right?
Oh, I wasn't really going after you.
I just admitted my damn mistake, all right? Herb McMahon out.
Sorry, Randy. Sorry, but I did tell you. When we come back, now we're going to go and feast on the misery of one Keon Rose. And we got a lot more football to talk about after that. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Hey, Rolex lovers, are you looking to buy? How about sell or trade? Do you need your watch serviced at a reasonable price? Family owned and trusted Diamond Gems Jewelry is your answer. Our on-site master watchmaker has 50 years experience servicing Rolex and all brands of watches. Diamond Gems Jewelry in Uptown Phoenix and on the west side too. Search Diamond Gems Phoenix or call 602-466-1772. Buy, sell, trade, or service. Diamond Gems, Arizona's most huggable jeweler.
As a kids, we all loved hopping on our bikes and hitting the road.
I'll be back for dinner. See ya.
Well, bikes just got reinvented for us big kids. If you haven't tried an electric bike, you have no idea what you're missing. Hit the road, the trails, or the beach by pedaling or not pedaling.
It's like being a kid all over again.
start with the best. Hemingway e-bikes are the best fat tire electric bikes sold. Since 2017, Hemingway is known for durability, price, safety, and fun. Hemingway is the long-range e-bike experts, taking you faster and farther on a single charge. Hemingway sells direct to the consumer, ships right to your home, and has over 2,000 five-star reviews. Choose from 7 models, all with an unprecedented 2-year warranty. Find out why over 50,000 customers call Hemingway the best e-bike there is. Go to HemingwayEbike.com. That's HIMIWAY ebike.com. Now save up to $250 with promo code FANATIC. Go to HemingwayEbike.com.
Will Shakespeare here. Back in my day, I invented over 1,700 slang words like swagger, bedazzled, and my personal favorite, besmirch. But even I have trouble understanding slang words like yeet or bougie or
this is fire.
Actually, it is extremely smooth Shakespeare vodka.
Okay, boomer.
See what I mean? But there is one word that describes the pure quadruple distilled spirit crafted from an 8th century Polish recipe the first time you try it.
So lit.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Shakespeare vodka. So lit.
This is Brian Musburger. Don't miss Betting Across America, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Davey Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and boy, if you think us men are vicious, the ladies are circling the carcass of the Cardinals. Hook'em Hottie says, in college, we called Cliff Coach Bro, and Nurse Scratchit says, Dingleberry looks like a loser.
Yeah, to me, it looks like a possum. But that's just me.
To me,
Bring a straight fire from a couple of the ladies in the audience right there. So
I watched him on the Hard Knocks, and I believe me when I tell you that man could not lead a group of ants to a picnic. There's no fire there.
Damn.
There is no passion there. The guy speaks in his same monotone. Like when it's time to fire up the guys, that's not the dude you want talking.
Rise up.
It's like, let's get JJ Watt in there, just get some life, because good God.
Well, enough of the Cardinals' misery, enough of the Colts' misery. Now for your misery. And I got to tell you, I watched that game last night. The referee, I've got nicknames for all referees. And last night you had Angry Man No Lips. That's John Hussey. He's Angry Man No Lips. I got to say, maybe not him specifically, but that crew is horrific. That was some bad officiating. I put this on the Twitter, but it was, to me, when you see that guy hanging on the back of McLaurin at when he was, and they didn't call pass interference on it. It was just like, the guy was doing his best imitation of Yoda in, Empire Strikes Back, when Luke is running around with Yoda on his back. He was fully grasped him. Look at the picture on my Twitter. It's a joke, but you can see Radio Pal 1580. You can see him just hanging on him. No call. And a bunch of other bad calls too, right, Keon?
Yeah, I mean, the Terry McLaurin one, actually, I was furious at that because it took away a Brian Robinson touchdown.
It cost me my fantasy football.
I mean, yeah, the Terry McLaurin was lined up. He checked with the official to make sure he was lined up. I'm on the line of scrimmage, right? The official says yes. He gives him the thumbs up. Then they say he wasn't on the line of scrimmage. I like that. That to me is just egregious. I don't know how you do that. And John Hussey at the end was talking about how, it's not the official's job to make sure that that players are lined up. But
I've watched unspoken thing where they look over and they're like,
because the player can't always tell, and that's what the official's supposed to help do. I've seen this at every level of the game. I've seen middle school football, high school football, college football, pro football. They all do it.
I saw this thing, this is the time of year that everybody on all the social medias are showing gift ideas and gadgets. Well, there's one where I had this ruler where you put a thing on there and it shoots a laser out. So, you can draw a straight line and you don't have to use like a big long ruler. You just have to put a thing there. It makes the line that way and that way. Why don't they have, like, if you can't trust the yellow line on TV, why don't they put a laser out there, right? You put a laser out there to see where the line of scrimmage is.
Well, I don't think they can, though, Jeffrey, because I think a lot of these big league stadiums, these NFL stadiums, they are sloped, so the water runs from the middle, out to the sides into the drainage systems. I think if you try to put a laser, it wouldn't go all the way across to the other side.
Put a laser in the ball.
Well, I guess you but still, I don't with the slope of some of these stadiums, I don't know if you could.
That is a really good point. I just think that the referee, if a player's not lined
should
up,
be able to help the guy, and if they call him not on the line of scrimmage after the guy.
He did say, well, sometimes they're counting guys. They don't have time to mess with are you on the line? And he did say, move up a little more there, but just McLaurin didn't go up far enough.
I mean, when he checked and gave him the thumbs up, that would have been the time to communicate that. Like, nope, you're not good.
Question. So who gave who the thumbs up?
He asked the official. The official, pointed and basically said, "You're good." He gave him the thumbs.
If you have a video of him doing that, then they should have overturned
gave him
play.
The thumbs up. And then that was it. The official basically was like, "Okay, then we're all on the same page." And then afterwards, called him off sides. I just that bothers me a lot. And I understand that I'm not going to completely bail out Washington for how they played in that game. They came out with the exact wrong game plan to go up against New York. You can throw the ball on New York. They were running the football in that game. And I know that's what Ron wants to do. But if the weakness of the team is coverage, is their secondary, shouldn't you attack that? So I'm not going to bail Washington out completely with some of these penalties, because they simply did not play well enough to win. And it's been this way for several weeks when they've won, where the margin for error is so slim. You knew that one or two bad calls were going to eventually kill you. And that's what it finally caught up to them. But those were some bad calls.
Yeah, well, it was fun to watch, only because I had fantasy football implications. But I tell you what, these teams just evenly matched. You never. It did end up going the way of the Giants, but a lot of that game, I was just like, "Holy crap, are they going to tie again?"
It did feel like
another one of them games. But Thibodeau, he had an amazing game for the Giants, just going crazy out there. But a lot of bad officiating. That's pretty much the story right there. I don't know what else you have to take away from this, Keon, but except for a loss. Any other comments before we move on?
Yeah, just that I think that the play calling just leaves a lot to be desired, and I don't know if moving forward Scott Turner's the guy. You can't have 2 weeks to prepare for a team you just played and then have the game plan be, we're not going to attack their weakness. That does not make any sense to me. I didn't understand it while I was watching the entire game. Scott's usually better when there's long breaks, but that's not acceptable in my opinion.
So before we move on to the Browns and the Ravens, I do have two things about my Colts real fast I want to say. One, Jonathan Taylor, they're saying he's probably out for the rest of the season with a high ankle sprain. And I bet he could come back sooner if you wanted. But again, we're tanking. And well, even though the players and the coaches don't know it, I'm sure Irsay has said, hey, just let him rest. We need him next year.
And you're 4-9-1. Like, why would you take your running back, the guy that's actually the engine of your offense, and run him back out there? I don't care what he wants to do. It's just that this season is not from this point moving forward is not worth risking the health of Jonathan Taylor, making that injury worse, causing some other injury. Hold him out.
Also, I think it was Florio. It was like, did Jeff Saturday blow his shot at being a full-time coach? Go, shut up, Florio. Come on, man. He was never going to be the head coach for the Colts. I'm sure Irsay likes him and is encouraging to him, but there's 0% chance that Jeff Saturday was going to do anything but go back and be a talking head. That's it.
Basically. But Jeff Saturday doesn't know that either. I mean, he was talking about, they asked him, are you going to interview for the job? And he said, yes, of course.
Sure.
I would love to. And he's like, I have a vision for what this team is going to be. I can't imagine what that would possibly be, because
even
he coached
Jeff Saturday
in high school.
Doesn't think he's going to get this job now. Even he knows better.
He has to. You can't blow a 33-point lead.
He's getting paid. He's getting paid right now. So
anyway. And the ESPN paycheck's probably better than the Colts paycheck would be.
He still loves this team. He's still a made man on this team. You know what I mean? So he gave it a shot. No hard feelings. Let's all move on. He goes to another job. We get another guy in. Everything is fine. All right, let's talk about what used to be called the Ravens. Now just Not much going on there.
Just wow.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Huntley, I thought would come in and at least give you two-thirds at least of the Ravens. It wasn't even a third of the Ravens. Man, it was bad. And he had a pretty bad day right there. And the defense was out there about as much as the Colts defense was out on the field in their game. And just wasn't a whole lot going on for the Ravens. I was surprised that they got 3 points.
It
was so bad.
I was kind of stunned by that too. And the Ravens defense held up their end of the bargain. You hold a team to 13 points, you should at least be able to compete in that game. And they really couldn't. At no point in that game did it look like the Baltimore Ravens had a chance to win.
And Deshaun Watson still not playing great.
No.
And I'm happy about that. I'm not happy he's got 3 wins in a row, but he's playing like ass. And now the Ravens, they have bigger problems. They just lost Marcus Peter and Calais Campbell to injury. Calais Campbell had a knee injury, and I hope he's okay. He's getting close to retirement age, though, isn't he? You know what I'm saying? He's been around for a while, but I love that guy. I hope he hangs in there. Let's see.
Calais Campbell's 36 years old, so we're coming up to it.
Yeah, I say it's just up to him. You know,
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy who probably can fight back and still give you a couple more years. Let's move on to the next game. The Bills are in the playoffs. Clinch. We all knew they would. But I'll tell you what, that was a good game between the Dolphins and the Bills. You know, there was snow. There was drama. There was just, a whole lot of offense. And, not as much offense from the Dolphin side.
Yeah.
But this was a pretty good game.
It was. I am going to chalk the lack of offense up to weather for the Dolphins a little bit, because
pretending like it's not cold ain't the same as being okay with it.
Exactly. and also you got to account for the wind in Buffalo. And Josh is fine because Josh has got a cannon for an arm. He throws the ball. The wind does not bother him at all. I've seen it multiple times at this point. Doesn't affect the ball. Justin Herbert's the same way. Doesn't matter where he is or how windy it is. He throws the ball. It's fine. But Tua doesn't have that elite arm strength. His skills are elsewhere in his knowledge of the game, his accuracy, all that. So when it comes to you're up in Buffalo, it's really cold. It's Buffalo cold, not Alabama cold. And it's, 15 mile per hour winds. The arm strength would be nice. It would be nice.
Yeah, it was a fun game, though. It was a fun game to watch on Saturday. And, it was a Saturday I thought was, I worked on my car during the Colts game because I was just like, I don't want to watch this. But I had 1580 The Fanatic on the radio as I was working on the transmission. You know what I'm saying? I was dealing with my own issues. And I kept hearing it. I'm like, okay. All right, fine. No, okay. And I didn't get upset. I really do believe that we're tanking. And if we're not tanking, well, we're accidentally tanking. Either way, I'm going to be happy next year. So, I'm listening to these games as I'm working on the car. I'm like, well, that might have missed I did come in and watch the Bills Dolphins. I feel like, man, I missed some pretty good games out there on Saturday, huh? That seemed like a good day of football. Did you guys watch a lot of this? I think the only way you could watch it was on NFL Network, right?
Yeah, it was on NFL Network. I watched it at a taco place, which was pretty nice. But yeah, it just the games were pretty good that day. I thought the Bills Dolphins game could be a game that would get out of hand. I was pleasantly surprised.
So I woke up Sunday to the news that there's somebody had already been sent to the hospital and taken off the field on a cart, and the games hadn't begun yet. Falcons defensive coordinator Dean Pease, that's right, Pees.
That is his name. Mm-hmm.
Just figured that might be one to change. Whatever. Dean Pease, not with the team for the game. He was their defensive coordinator. I guess there was somebody on the Saints, wiped him out. I don't know all the details on who it was that put the hit on him, how it even happened, but they had to take him to the hospital. And I don't know what he has injured. All I know was he was stable and alert, and he flew back with the team. I guess that added some insult to injury when you have to fly back with the losing team. But the Saints were able to beat the Falcons and get a win. Nobody cares bowl.
I was concerned about Dean Pease though, because the guy's 73 years old. So you hear a player ran into him and he's going to the hospital. My first thought was, oh my God, is he okay?
Turns out he's all right. So that was good to hear. But Falcons took a pretty bad L on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's just not a whole lot functioning for them offensively. Their defense wasn't bad, but it didn't do enough, obviously. And that's just kind of how it went.
Boomer Sooner says, "Hi, Rosalie. Who should I sit, Stafford or White?" Not even the wrong segment, man. It's the wrong day. The hell. All right, guys. Must take break. We have 30 minutes to wrap up all these games. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears radio show, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. I am here today to make the statement that just because we're in a bear market does not mean that you have to be losing money. Just like Michael Burry and Warren Buffett, bear markets should be where real generational wealth is created. But most will follow the same broken strategy that lost them in the last bear market. We are inviting you to come to an intensive 3-day trading and investing class where we will show you the trading and investing strategies of the market wizards. This class is typically $299, but right now, for 66% off, you can join us in this class. Just call 8448-TRADER. That's 8448-87-2337 and tell the operator you want the $99 3-day class, or text $99 to 25029. That's $99 to 25029.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Remember when you could go to the doctor and actually leave feeling better? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Katz. The problem with our healthcare system is the focus on the system and not on your healthcare. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum healthcare using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men and women's health. We help people find relief when other doctors have failed. Our naturopathic doctors can restore your pain-free life using cutting-edge regenerative treatments. We can also help restore balance to your immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. Addressing your cause can also improve both mental and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working for you, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call us. We're the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, Arizona at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161, or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy got himself a whiskey white. Got Keon Rhodes in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And while we're here talking about the football, a bunch of people in Palm Springs, a lot of my friends are celebrating the fact that they now have a hockey team there and an ice rink called the Acrisure Arena where the Firebirds play.
No kidding.
Yeah. And then I felt a little sense of pain and agony when I realized that is the minor league team for Who's younger?
Who?
Seattle Kraken. I didn't.
That's a minor league team for who?
Seattle Kraken, the hockey team. Yeah, and I felt bad because I was like, oh yeah, that's great. That's it. And I realized these are the people who stripped you of your fantasy football team name and you lost your lawsuit too. And now I felt bad.
You realize I have many horrible things to say.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm the bigger man, Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean,
I am the bigger man. I'm not going to yell and scream about the atrocities that this franchise, which shall remain nameless.
Well, I'm just saying, but you know what we can do? We could drive to Palm Springs and root against the Firebirds. You know, we just go there and cheer for the other team, and then that might make you feel better.
That's a good point.
So,
do they play against the Coyotes farm team?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Probably. I don't even know. Is the Coyotes farm team the Roadrunners? I think.
Let me look
Somebody
it up
better
here.
look that up because I honestly don't know.
It is the Roadrunners.
Yeah,
according to the Goog.
I'll wear my Roadrunners jersey right here.
I have mine as well.
Mine has blood on it. My own.
Play.
How did that happen?
The
That's a long story.
Firebirds in hockey.
Maybe we don't need to look this up now because we only have 28 minutes before Monday Night Football starts.
I'm in the middle of looking up something.
Blissful Hayes says, be careful what you wish for, Jeffrey. You know, the Cardinals tanked accidentally 5 years ago, and they ended up with Kyler Murray. How's that working out?
Yeah.
Again, you know, I feel like the Colts will do a better job with the first pick than Steve Keim has. I'm not worried about that.
I have a question here.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Randy White, 1580 to the Fanatic.
Go ahead.
The SI.com. I'm assuming that's bikini network.
Yeah, the bikini magazine.
Magazine.
Sure.
How to watch Roadrunners versus Firebirds.
We really don't have time for this, Randy.
Coachella Valley Firebirds and the Roadrunners apparently have a rivalry, according to this.
How can you have a rivalry when it's a brand new team?
They just got here. They just got here.
Thank you.
I am sure a rivalry will develop over time. They don't have a rivalry right now.
We're going to a game, Randy. We're going to a game. We'll stay at the radio station there. We'll just sleep in the studio.
Sleep in the studio?
Yeah, he'll be fine.
We've done that before, haven't we?
888-368-1580. All right, we got to get back into covering all the games that happened yesterday. And I'll be honest, we're sort of behind, so we got to go quickly.
All right.
Yesterday, as expected, the Eagles are now 13-1. They beat the Bears 25-20. It wasn't an ass kicking, but Justin Fields. It was one of these things like, who is he reminding me of? Who is he? He's great on his feet, kind of inconsistent passing, kind of struggled when the pass rush was happening. I'm like, he reminds me of Jalen Hurts like a year ago, doesn't he? He kind of a little bit same kind of player.
And I think that's good news if you're a Bears fan, because that means that the quarterback can continue to develop. And I know that Justin Fields has the work ethic.
Got to keep him healthy. Got to keep Justin Fields healthy.
Didn't the Bears just relieve their GM of duties? I mean, I said duties. Didn't the Bears
duties?
I don't know. Aren't they looking for a new Keon? Help me out here. I think
you're trying to send Steve Keim. Don't do that.
Well, no.
No, I don't think they did. They just hired a new coach and GM this season at the start of the year.
Oh, that was last year. Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Look out, Bears, because you're right. Justin Fields is a good one. He's going to be good for some time to come.
Give that man an offensive line, and
he reminds me a lot of like Lamar Jackson. Run. He's a big kid. He's got a pretty good arm. I mean, he's smart. I nothing but good years. I have a feeling coming for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, draft picks and time, and those Bears are going to be, I'd say, right up there with the Eagles. Okay, so the Lions. Okay, so you got another win. What are they now? They're 7-7. Congratulations, you're 500 club. You're not going to the playoffs. Next game.
Well, I'm still not going to count them out. I mean, Washington and New York kind of teetering on the brink right there.
Yeah,
it's not over. And the NFC's not great. They could still get in. Now, what do they do when they get to the playoffs?
You know why I changed from Jared Goff to Tom Brady at the last moment? I was watching the NFL Network and Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner and all those guys, and there was a conversation that came up about Jared Goff having only thrown one touchdown outdoors this year. And he also plays even worse when it's cold. And I'm like, what? Really? Oh, okay. Well,
That makes
saw
sense
that.
as a California kid.
Now, I kept my pick with the Lions because I felt like they still had that momentum, and the Jets are just horrible. And they had a different quarterback again. So I stuck with my pick, but I did grab Tom Brady, and that helped. I got 28 points out of Tom Brady, only 20 out of Jared Goff. So I got to be right twice on that. But that was an interesting and good stat. And the other thing was, while the talking heads were talking, they showed a video of Goff, and he was doing this, blowing in his hands, and somebody's trying to hand him a ball. And he's like, my hands are too cold. I'm like, that's it. Click. So, Jared Goff, he's never going to be more than he is. And Boogie, if he has to play outside ever, you're never going to have a complete season with him unless he can get over that. So that's all I have to say about
it. It doesn't
that.
help that he was going up against that Jets defense. They've been good all year. They continue to look good. And the Jets could have even won that game if they were quarterbacked by anybody else but Zach Wilson. He's terrible.
Is Marcus Allen still employed by the Steelers today?
Marcus Allen?
Yeah. Is he?
As far as I know.
Yeah. He probably, he's probably ran a lot. I don't know how they do discipline for the Steelers, but that guy cost them the game. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, so I'll tell you. So Steelers beating the Panthers there 21-7, and just forced a fourth down after they sacked Sam Darnold twice. I'm sorry, he just about damn near cost them the game. I thought they lost, but turns out I guess they won. Anyway, so Carolina is sitting there at 4th and 27. That's what they were supposed to be. 4th down, 27. But Marcus Allen thought it'd be funny to go over there and get in the opposing team's huddle. I cracked me up. He's like, hey guys, what's going on in here? And they're like, get out of here. What's wrong with you? Here goes the flag. A 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, which is an automatic first down.
I have seen that happen and not get flagged before. I
have too. But
I know but you shouldn't do that. It was like when the game is on the line, it's one thing if you're kind of screwing around in the first quarter, and then
at that point it's 21-7. So.
Yeah, but at that point in the game, you can't. Don't take the risk. Just go to your own huddle. Close out the game.
Well, he just got a tackle or a sack or whatever, so he's feeling kind of cocky.
That is part of it, but I do think that Mike Tomlin downplaying it to the media doesn't mean anything. Mike Tomlin has been known for telling the media, "No, it's fine, we'll handle it in-house," and then next week the guy's just not on the team, so he's not safe.
Marcus Allen right now is in a bottom of a well, and he's got a poodle with him, and Mike Tomlin is lowering a little bucket down to him. What is the poodle for? Well, that's a Silence of the Lambs reference. Yeah. You'll never see Marcus Allen again unless Mike Tomlin is wearing him as a jacket. That was just one of the worst things you've ever seen.
Damn.
But at least they won. That's all that matters.
Wow.
Straight fire.
Wow. Next up, the Cowboys. Listen, Cowboys, you can't tell us you're for real and lose to the Jaguars. You can't.
I don't
You can't
know,
do
man.
it. I don't care if you're like, oh, these Jaguars are looking pretty serious and for real. Yeah, but you're supposed to be the Cowboys. Even if they were for real, you were supposed to win this game. And this had to go to overtime. It's the same conversation I'm giving to the Vikings. Whether you win or lose, when a lesser team, and I'm talking a lesser team, takes you into overtime, shame on you for having ever gotten there to begin with. And then to make it worse, you throw a pick six to lose the game in overtime. Dak Prescott, I don't know what his deal is, if that O-line is falling down on him or he's just failing, but that was ugly. Cowboy fans, and seriously, Vikings fans, stop asking for validation. You don't deserve it.
No, and we got piled on last week when we tried to point out it is actually concerning that they barely beat the Texans. It is. It's not just a trap game. When you look at how the Texans were playing them, The Texans came out with a plan to face that defense, a plan to take on that offense. They're just the Texans. They don't have enough talent, so they couldn't execute on it to finish out the game. Because the Texans, if they were even slightly better, and I do mean slightly better, probably win that football game. The Jaguars are slightly better than that. And Trevor Lawrence is starting to look like the Trevor Lawrence we thought we were going to get.
43 fantasy points. I know because he was on my bench.
Oh,
I had Zay Jones. That was the only reason I was close to winning my game. Zay Jones.
It's just little by little. But Trevor Lawrence, if he throws 4 touchdowns on you, that's not speaking well of your entire defense, as good as Micah Parsons
secondary
has been. Yeah. So I think that the Cowboys do have legitimate concerns because they are a playoff team. But you run into any of these other playoff teams, you're struggling with the Jaguars and Texans. Am I supposed to believe you're a Super Bowl contender?
No,
Stop.
No. Cowboys, the Vikings, very same. Hook'em Hottie says, I hate when you're right about the Cowboys, Jeffrey. Sigh. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I really am. It's Patrick says, that was an unfortunate loss for America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Good Cat says, ha, 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 ha. Another Cowboy savior choking. Romo and the botched field goal hold. Okay, I'm not trying to pile on. I'm just saying you ain't what you think you're. And Boogie, just sit down. Boogie, sit down. Boogie's like, hey, Lions are 6-1 in the last 7 games. Goff is an average quarterback that isn't turning the ball over.
Yeah.
That's all you need for that offense. But you also need a quarterback who's consistent, whether you're outside or in. When I said he has only scored 1 game outside, I mean, period. Not just when it's cold, but even worse when it's cold. So sit down, buddy.
Yeah, and it's not like the Lions' rushing attack is so dominant that you can win a game without Jared Goff. He has to be great.
Oh my God. Ken Kitten says tonight, Rams, Packers, simulcast on ABC and ESPN. Why?
Or here on the flamethrower. I mean, yeah.
I mean, we're contractually obligated. That's why. But I mean, this is not the kind of game that you really need to cancel ABC's regular programming.
We needed all eyeballs on Rams Packers this year.
I mean, I'm sure they scheduled it that way, thinking Stafford versus Aaron Rodgers. This will be good, right?
It is in Lambeau.
And it's supposed to be snowy. I don't know. We're getting to you, Fish Tank. We're getting there.
Cold weather games are not great when the 2 teams are not good.
Fish Tank says Dolphins scored 29 points. Tua had a 104 passer rating. I don't have any problems with any of that. Looked pretty good to me. I'm going to start sounding like Donnie and start asking for respect from a quarterback any minute here. He's getting there, and that team is getting there, and you guys have had a positive turnaround. I got to say, it's an improved team, and who knows what happens next. But, you guys need a little more, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
And not every game is going to be in Buffalo in particular. So, no, Tua played well for what the temperature was.
Good Cat says, I'm all about piling on the Cowboys and their insufferable fans. Let's do this. I don't feel like as a Colts fan, I can pile on anybody right now.
Guys.
Yeah. And even if being a Colts fan, even if I had a good comeback, I'd probably drop it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing. I got nothing. Let's talk about the Chiefs. Another embarrassing thing. You took overtime. To beat the worst team in the NFL, the Houston Texans. And great. Yay. AFC West title. Congrats. But it took overtime against the Texans. Are you guys just tired? Is that it? Are people just tired right now?
No.
How in the hell did the Texans take you to overtime, Patrick Mahomes?
I will say this, and I know you guys are gonna laugh at me or whatever, and that's okay. Make fun of me if you want to, but this is still an NFL team. These are still the best football players, whether they're on a poorly coached or poorly put together Texans team. It's still an NFL team, and it's still you have to still go out and win the football game. And Kansas City won. I don't think the Texans are that bad where they should just be trounced every week 51-0. I mean, it's still an NFL team is all I'm trying to say.
And you're right. And I think the issue that I have with this Chiefs
I wanted
team,
to make fun of them.
I want to say that the Chiefs are contenders because they've got Mahomes in particular, and he fixes a lot of stuff. But this defense is also concerning. This is not the only game that's like this. When you look at the Raiders game, when the Raiders were real bad, they beat them by 1 point. They gave up 29. All right. When the Niners were struggling, they gave up 23 points. They scored 44, so you don't remember it. But a lot of these wins that the Chiefs have, they give up a lot of yards and they give up a lot of points. And that should bother Chiefs fans. I don't know if you want to go to the playoffs knowing that like every game might have to be a shootout.
Last Optimist says Chiefs D needs to clean up that play.
It's bad.
And those refs were in the running for worst crew of the week. No, the one for the Commanders.
Yeah, if it weren't for the Sunday night game, we'd be talking about those guys.
Kyle G says the Cowboys' ineptitude has opened the door for the Jaguars to potentially win the AFC South and host a playoff game. I love this season. This entire weekend was a lot of great football. Even if it was ugly, good, bad, and ugly, it was a lot of great football. This is shaping up. It's been a weird season. Nothing has made sense. Nothing has made sense. But it's been. I feel like it's been a really good, entertaining season.
It has. This is one of my favorite seasons I can remember. Of
course, you've got a winning record for once.
Well, no, I mean, because the team's done that in my life. I mean, it's not my favorite seasons have nothing to do with just my team. It's all the football that I've watched. Washington's had winning records before. I don't understand why you're saying that.
It does. It's like it's like one of those blood moons. I don't know how. It's some rare.
It's really not that rare. They just don't win. They don't win. They don't win playoff games. They don't go to NFC title games, and ergo don't go to the Super Bowl. But
comets that go by the planet every 48 years.
But they play in the NFC East, so they're going to just have seasons where it's like, oh no, we're the best team in this division because the division's bad. So anyway, I just think that like this season, just the totality of it, a lot of the surprises, the games that have been played, how close everything is, just so much parity. I've had a lot of fun.
So so the Texans have the first pick in the draft, clearly because they have only one win. I would love to see them win out. I don't know what their schedule is, but if they win out, that gives my team a chance to get a little closer to whatever the hell we want in the draft. Just saying. We got to take a break. When we come back, we will round it up. We only have a few more pieces of paper here, so I think that's 2 or 3 games. Come on back, kids. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Hit the button.
It's us here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up from Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers host the LA Rams. The addition of Baker Mayfield last week led the Rams to an upset win over the Raiders. Can they do it again on the road, this time against the Packers? Join us on air and on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for the NFL.
Here's to Prilosec OTC. Without Prilosec, I wouldn't be able to enjoy all this yummy holiday food. Speaking of, whoever made that apple pie, delicious. I just take 1 pill each morning and 0 heartburn all day. So cheers to Prilosec OTC. Ooh, are those jalapeno poppers?
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. 1 device offer per line. Only available on certain.
Good news for men. Studies are showing certain jewelry can save the day with your sweetie. For example,
You forgot my birthday?
here, this is for you.
Wow. Better late than never.
It even changes their minds.
I'm leaving you.
Here, this is for you.
I'm staying.
But this amazing jewelry can only be found at select jewelers.
Diamond Gems Jewelry, family owned and trusted with expert watch and jewelry repair. Buy, sell, or trade up. Free appraisals. Diamond Gems Jewelry, Arizona's most huggable jeweler, with Uptown Phoenix and Westside locations.
Hi, Shane O'Grady here with Life Changer Loan. And you know what the number one question people ask us is? Why isn't everyone doing this? That's kind of what we were thinking. I know this loan isn't for everyone, but I guarantee it's for everyone that qualifies. Fact. If you have great credit and are good with your money, and you're currently in a fixed rate traditional loan, I guarantee you're in the wrong loan. It's not magic, it's just math. So check us out at lifechangerloan.com. That's lifechangerloan.com.
Arizona Mortgage Broker number MD1002031, NMLS number 1863775. Life Changer Loan Corp is an equal housing lender.
Do you know about 211 Arizona? It's a free service to connect you with resources anywhere in Arizona.
housing assistance and eviction prevention, transportation and ride services, healthcare benefits, food resources, and even utility bill support. Talk to a live operator in English or Spanish 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Just dial 211 or visit 211arizona.org. Get connected, get answers, and get the help you need. This message is sponsored by 211 Arizona.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari on Do-It-Yourself Money Management.
Some people do manage money, do it very well. They enjoy doing it. Great, do it. But make sure you have somebody that can back you up. That's just as important. Something happens to you and your husband has no clue of what you were doing. So make sure you get somebody that you develop a relationship of trust for a period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. Trust is earned. You want somebody who gets paid on a quarterly basis. So their interest is there every quarter and they are going to hold your hand for a lifetime. And that's really proactive management.
If you're ready for some help, call Compact Asset Management at 800-388-9700 and schedule your free consultation with Mo Ansari to learn about his holistic approach to wealth management. Call 800-388-9700. That's 800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
It's time once again for the Harmon Solar 1580 The Fanatic NFL Fan Pick'em Contest. First prize is $1,580 from Harmon Solar. Second prize, a Zebra e-bike from Hemingway. And $500 third prize from Harmon Solar. Sign up today. Go to 1580thefanatic.com. The Harmon Solar 1580 The Fanatic NFL Fan Pick'em Contest. From your home for the NFL in the Valley. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Hey, Wonder 1580 The Fanatic. Turns out we're on really good time. We only have 2 more games to talk about. We did it, guys. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Haven't done it yet.
No, you're right. You're right. You know, my Colts did that on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what they did on Saturday. It's not what they did on Saturday.
It sucked. That's what they did. All right. So, okay, second to last game we got to talk about right now is the Chargers beating the Tennessee Titans. What's the story? Is Tannehill okay? I remember he went out of the game, but then he came back in the game. I don't know what they're saying, how he's going to do, but I think that really took a lot of the wind out of the sails of the Titans. Derrick Henry did his Derrick Henry thing, 104 yards and 21 carries and a touchdown, and he was the leading receiver. But to me, it's less about the Titans, more about the Chargers. And I feel like the Chargers are still not quite where we'd expected them to be.
No, and I would agree with you 110%. I think the Chargers are lacking something, and I don't know what it is. Justin Herbert he's been in there. He's tried to come in every day. He's even played hurt. The guy's tried to lead this team. He's tried to be the guy that this team can rally around, but there's just something missing. I don't know if it's a running game. I don't know if it's consistency. I don't know if it's blocking.
Eckler's pretty good.
I don't know if it's the defense. There's just something off with this Charger team, and I can't put my finger on it. Maybe Keon knows what it is.
It's confusing to say the least. I'm not sure I can exactly tell either, because it's a Titans defense that if you are the Chargers firing on all cylinders, you ought to blow this team out. You ought to obliterate them. I mean, the Titans are injured at like every position on the defensive side of the ball. It's one of those things where it's like, maybe you might want to consider like cleaning out the training staff, because like they are injured every week, and it's somebody else going down. And now it's Tannehill again, potentially. I don't know what to make of the Chargers not being able to punish the Titans for being shorthanded. I really can't say.
But of course, it's always fun to see Dicker the kicker. Dicker the kicker came out and sent a 43-yard field goal, and bam, won the game for him. Pretty much, but here comes Dicker the kicker. I mean, that's all fun and good when you're winning, but this team ain't beating anybody serious.
This kid is magic. You know why he's magic, Jeffco? Because he's from the great University of Texas. He's a
Oh, you're gonna
Longhorn.
say 'cause his name
That's
is
why.
Dicker.
No, well, it has something to do with it. That's got a little magic to it as well.
I mean, this guy. I bet they're selling more jerseys for Dicker than you've ever seen.
the highest
You know?
selling kicker jersey sales ever. I mean, it's
getting close.
And why not? And he also owns the whole persona.
Mhm. Dicker
he
the
understands
kicker.
what's going on, which just makes it more interesting, to be honest with you.
All right, so Titans still have the number 4 seed in the AFC South and all that good stuff. The Chargers, they're about like 75% there, really. But let's go to a team that is way less than 75% there. The Buccaneers. Hey, remember last week when I said maybe don't give them any bulletin board material? Tom Brady saying that they are fairly tough defense. Hey, guess what? That fairly tough defense just whooped your ass and whooped your ass good. And it just, I don't know why you would say that. And maybe he didn't even mean to say it that way. But if you look at what the defense did to the Buccaneers in that game, they made Tommy pay for that.
Yeah, Cincinnati playing football, quality football when it's on the line, and just like they did last season. I think the Cincinnati team's got another deep run in them. Who knows? Maybe they even back to the daggum Super Bowl.
Eli Apple says, "Yeah, this fairly tough defense got the old man tap dancing back there," and basically it just the defense for the Bengals is the biggest reason for this win, if anything. I mean, yeah, Joe Burrow's going to do Joe Burrow's thing, but I mean, what was the score? They were 17-0 at the half. How did this? What was the score at the end?
34-23.
All right. 34-23. And, so the defense for the Bengals did a great job. Joe Burrow, did what he had to do. 200 yards, 27 out of 39, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So the Buccaneers defense wasn't making it easy on them. But again, that's the same problem. If you leave a defense out there too long, stuff's going to happen. And I also I think when it comes to some of these contenders that I take the most seriously, the Bengals are one of them because they have a respectable defense. Here's another thing. Tom Brady. Can I talk to Tom Brady directly? I'm sure he listens. Tommy, hey, listen, it's one thing to throw 2 interceptions. It's one thing to fumble the ball like Matt Ryan. You did it twice. But the whole thing where the fake bunt thing, the fake punt, maybe let Giovanni Bernard know it's coming. If he's the guy you're going to direct snap it to. Just saying. I think we've learned that Todd Bowles is a better coordinator than a coach.
Yeah.
That is probably something that needs to happen in the offseason.
Byron Leftwich was the offensive coordinator.
Whoops.
I'm going to say that's probably
Byron Leftwich. Now you know why he's not a head coach. Whoops. But still, Todd Bowles, man. I love the guy. I think he's a good guy.
It's unfortunate too because he took over the team like right when everybody was getting old. Like there's no healthy receivers on this team.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Uncle Bruce, for leaving me a team.
Bruce Arians knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Well, Monday Night Football is up next. It's the Rams and the Packers. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Staley Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Jacobs and Haley, 6 to 10 weekday mornings.